Listo. Ahí pongo cara de sonrisa. Hi. Hello. Hi, Bob. All right. Hey, Molly, you might remember my mom. Do you remember my mom? Of course you do. You're muted. I can't hear you.
Oh, of course I
You're
remember her.
still muted. I still can't hear you. Is it me?
Okay.
Ah, I have you on headsets and my headsets aren't in my ears. Hold on. Ah,
Okay.
there we go. Now I
Yes,
can hear you.
I remember your mom from
Yeah.
years ago.
And
Maybe about
yeah,
50, as long as I know you. What
I
is it,
know.
17 years? 20
A
years?
lot of
A
years.
lot,
And Yolanda also knows my mom. Anyway,
Yolanda.
I'm at my mom's house. I'm right now sitting in my mom's house in Argentina.
Argentina. Wow.
So my mom is sending greetings to all of you who know her, and of course,
Yes,
at
yes.
large to everyone. But in
Thank you.
particular, she
Yes.
has, before the pandemic, she would come and stay with me 3 months a year.
Yeah, I remember.
And she would come with me to school, and everyone got to know her, and it was so fun. But then, ever since the pandemic, she hasn't come here anymore. And I go, so I traveled this weekend, and I just got here. Well, this weekend, I traveled the day before Sunday, and I got here yesterday. So I am teaching from Argentina right now.
Oh,
Hey. And so my
you,
mom, I told my mom, some of the students here have been with me forever, and she
that's right.
remembered.
And you look
So,
great. And you look
oh,
rested
thank
for a
you.
long trip.
Well, actually, it's kind of funny because there's 5 hours difference, and today I woke up, my alarm woke me up at 8 a.m. I had told it to wake me up late because I was so tired, and so it woke me up at 8 a.m. And so at 8 a.m. I woke up and I was so tired, and I kept being tired, and I was like, why am I so tired? It's 8 a.m. I was so out of it that I forgot that it was like 3 a.m. for me. I'm waking up at 8 a.m., but it's 3 a.m. And of course I was tired. It's like, duh. But but I was so tired I couldn't even figure out that that's why I was so tired. So,
And you already did a class this morning, didn't
and
you?
this morning I started teaching. It was my, what, 5 a.m., 5 a.m. I started my morning class. At my brain's 5 a.m., even though it's 9 a.m. for you guys. And now for me it's 1 p.m. No, for you guys it's 1 p.m.
It's 1 p.m.
And for me, anyway, it's kind of crazy. Let
Mhm.
me, it's for you guys it's 1 p.m. For me it's 6:30 p.m. I don't know.
Mhm. Mhm.
Let me get in. I'm getting into my
Are
other
you teaching? Are
computer.
you teaching tomorrow? Are you going to rest tomorrow?
No, I teach Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I don't rest until Friday. So let me join the class with my other computer. So this other computer that I'm joining with is actually my sister's laptop. So it's going to look as though a person that you've never met has joined the class, but she lent me her laptop to have as my second computer to teach with. So it's not that we have a stranger in our midst. It's just that I have
Mhm.
my sister Lidia Musacchio is in the mix. Here it comes. It wants me to join with sound from her computer, but I'm saying no. Okay, here we are. Just getting accustomed to the way it looks on her computer. And here we go. I cannot get my mouse to work. That's the big, it's like, why is my mouse not working? It's driving me crazy. And I hate working with my finger on the touchpad, but at least I can. But for some reason, my mouse is just not doing the job, and I miss it.
Oh gosh.
Um, anyway, if something had to fail, I guess the mouse is replaceable by my touchpad. But yeah, I don't know why it isn't working. It's being a little bit weird at home. It was lagging, and
Mhm.
now it's just not working. Anyway, all right. So here we go. Hi, everyone. Thanks for
Hi.
joining. Let me see who's here. Bob, you're the first comer. Harry, Molly, Mary Ellen, Carol again from the morning, Vera. All right. Anna, Thomas, and Yolanda. And then the last person you see there, Lydia Musakio, she's my sister. She's not here. I'm just using her computer as my second computer. So
Mhm.
anyway. All right. Welcome back, you guys.
Hi.
So we did a lot of work last week and let me bring up my phone, put it nearby. Here we go. And let me get that one set up with my,
Mhm. Can I ask a question?
here we go. Hold on, I'm
Mhm. Sure.
unlocking my phone so I can show you my phone. And now, one last thing, can everyone please go to the chat? And I'm going to this chat on that keyboard and I'm gonna go, hi. Whoa, that's not good. I just hit my tea with her keyboard and I'm gonna spill my tea. Okay, here we go. Can everyone go to the chat where I just said hi and many others have already been saying hi and stuff like that? Can everyone make sure to give a little hey ho in the chat, please? Harry also says aloha. Everyone's saying hi to you, mommy. Todos dicen que hola. Okay, so I need to connect my computer, my phone. And it needs to be off. There we go.
Mhm.
Okay, now it's showing. Okay, my phone is just getting it ready to share with you guys because in this class, I need to be sure it's not sharing yet. Come on. Try again. Connecting to phone.
Mhm.
I know. It doesn't want me to turn it on to use the passcode, but on the other hand, if I use it, it says that it's not mirroring.
Did you have a
Okay,
problem
lock
this
my phone
morning?
to connect.
Uh-huh.
No, I didn't use my phone for the morning's class.
Oh, okay.
It's coming. It should be coming in. Anyway, I'll wait for it to come in. I
Mhm.
set it up this morning to make sure it was working and I tested and it was working, but now there it is. It's just that if I use it, connection interrupted, it's powered on, it's connected, yeah. Try again, come on. Do I have it powered on? Yeah, I do. Okay. Anyway, if not, I'll just look, I used to do, and what I used to do, I used to share my phone, but I like the fact that as of last week or something, I was able to, oh, it's not connecting to my mom's Wi-Fi. Give me a sec. This
Sure.
phone hasn't been in this place before. That's what's happening. So give me a second
Sure.
because that's what it needs to do. Can, okay, I don't remember her because my computer has been here before and it connected automatically, but my phone has not been here before. Hold on. Si la tenés a la clave, share password. Hold on, I'm sharing password from one phone to another. That's fine, ya está, ya está. When you have two phones, you can just share the password from one to another, and I just did that. And this is my real phone, and this is my teaching phone, and we're ready to go. So now it should work. Okay, sorry about that. I had connected it today, and I thought it had worked, but I guess I hadn't actually checked that it was connecting to the Wi-Fi. All right. Anyway. So thanks everyone for that. And now we're going to, oh, I need to unlock. I need to get it onto Bluetooth. I keep saying no service. I don't have service on this phone, but that shouldn't stop it from sharing. Okay, if it still doesn't work, I'm just gonna share it like I used to. it's okay if I can't share it at the same time. All right, enough of that. I'm just gonna let it be if I can't make it work. So we spent a lot of time going through the other automatic ways that the program has to organize photos. So we went through the well, at the beginning we had gone through the whole top, favorites, map, recently saved, all that. And then, hold on, someone's coming in. Barbara, here we go. And then we started going down to the date, to the people, to the memories, to the trips, to the featured photos, those guys. So is there any question about that part of it before we jump into a completely new way of connecting? Is there something that you guys didn't yet that you no, if you didn't try it, then try it. You can't ask questions if you don't try it because then you don't know what's not working. But did you try to do something that didn't work, or do you have more questions about things? I know that when we went to the people, you were supposed to, as homework, you're supposed to try to connect at least 5 people. Hi, Barbara. You were supposed to connect 5 people. You were supposed to see if it recognized new faces. You were supposed to go in and try to add memories or to take away photos from a memory that they publish a photo that's not to your liking, things like that. So if you were able to do all that kind of altering and it all worked just fine, give me a yes. The 2 people who put their hands up for questions, Molly and Barbara, leave your hands up to answer yes or no, because then it'll disappear.
Yeah, yeah.
So if you did do it and everything worked fine, give me a yes. If you did it, but something didn't work or you have questions and something's not working, give me a no. If it's a real like, okay, now this is a question, then raise your hand. Okay, so I want to see yes, no's, or raised hands. All right. Meanwhile, you're doing that. Yes, Molly, what's your question?
Oh, yeah, this has something to do with just basic photos. Uh, Last weekend, I received from a friend who's my late daughter's friend, sent a picture of her, and it came by email, and I had no idea how to put it into photos. And that's just basic understanding of what to
Okay,
do.
that's
I
a
was
great
completely,
question. So here's the thing. Do you have your email available? Can you open it up and then
Mhm.
I'll share because that's something that I definitely want to teach in class and you have the perfect example with a photo that needs to download. So then when you share your screen, I will be happy to show you how to do that.
Mhm.
And you can do it from your phone's email or you can do it from your computer's email. Either way, you can do
I
that.
think it, I think it's on here. Let's see. I had it,
Okay.
I had it set up before. The,
Also, go to your mail app, maybe. Yeah, there you go.
yeah, yeah. Okay. I'll stop share. Get it from my mail,
Okay. Do
mail.
you want to just take your time to find it? I'll talk to Barbara while you look for it so you don't feel pressured.
Yeah. Hmm.
Okay, so go ahead and look for it. Meanwhile, I'll check in with Barbara. Yeah, Barbara, what's up?
So I did a lot of
Oh,
work
here it
with
is.
my photos and it was fine. But I know I have tons more um, photos of myself and my husband and my daughter, and it wouldn't let me put a little circle around their face and new people that I wanted to put
All right,
in.
so why don't you wait a second? If Molly's ready, I'll have her. Then if not, you'll share your screen and let's see. Because in order to put that circle on your face, you kind of need to have the metadata turned on. So I'll check in and see all of that, okay?
Okay, well, it
So,
was on my phone.
okay. Oh, on your phone, you can't do
Yeah.
circles on your face. No, you can't do
Oh,
that on the phone. Okay.
okay. Well, then I'll
So that's a
try.
good quick answer to that one.
Okay.
Yeah. So here we go. All right, guys. So here's the mail app, okay, that Barbara's sharing. And in the mail app, which is the native mail app that comes with the Mac, so there's different ways of doing this. But on the mail app, when you get a photo, if you want to keep it, go ahead and hover with your mouse over the photo itself. There we go. Your photo, the whole thing is not live yet. See how, it's not, selected. Yeah, there we go. So you needed to click on it. Don't click away so that the photo isn't kind of ghosted like that. Okay. So now that it's live, so she had to click here to put it in the foreground, right? So now that there's colors and stuff, now look what happens when you hover over the photo for a second. Just hover. And there's, well, select it with a single click. Now, when you right click, I'm not seeing anything happening on your right click. Okay, on the photo, you're supposed to right click. Nothing's happening on the photo. Your mouse is way over on the white, so I'm not sure if you're touching something else. Oh, you're muted. You're muted, Molly. So if you're talking to me, I think you're pointing to something. Yeah, can you tell me again if you've been saying something? I haven't been hearing you. There it is, right click. And then say right there, don't do anything. Don't do anything. Don't do anything. I want everyone to see this example first. Okay. So she has choices. She has save attachment, save to downloads folder, or export to photos. And I'm hiding all these choices, so it's hard to see, but one is export to photos. You see that one? That means your Photos app. Okay. So you could save it as an attachment or to the downloads folder. It'll save as a photo, as a file into your computer, but you won't be able to see it through the Photos app, and then you'll have to copy it into the Photos app and stuff like that. So if you can go straight into Photos, that's the simplest thing you can do. Just click Export to Photos. So go ahead and do that. Click on the choice, Export to Photos. Boom. So now your Photos app came in. Now go to the, hold on, go back to your Photos app now. We're gonna find the photo. Go back to your Photos app that you were just, no, that you already exported it. It's there. You exported it. You don't need to do that again. You already clicked on Export to Photos. Go back to your Photos app that you just left. Click on the dock here to pull it up again. You don't need to move anything. Molly, you're still muted, so I see your mouse moving, like you're saying something, but I can't hear you. So all this time, I have no idea what you're saying. Unmute yourself
Mute.
first because
I mean,
there we go. All right.
okay.
So now go to your dock and open your Photos app, which was there. You just left it or click on it
Okay.
there. Oh, you have more photos. Okay, but let me just, because we could have done save all, but go ahead. Since you did one, I want you to go to your Photos app first, which I keep pointing to this, but you might have Zoom in the on here in
Here
your
it is.
dock.
Okay. Oh, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I got it.
Okay, that's fine. So where do you find this photo? And this is important, you guys. You don't know this photo is from 1970, or from 2025. You say that you don't know, right?
Yeah.
You might know because it's your daughter, but in general, sometimes you don't know when a photo was taken. So if you
Mhm.
go to the library shows things by time in which the photo was taken. So then go to library and then go to all photos. That's like the default setting.
All photos. All photos.
Okay, by the way, I already see it there. So this one could have come in at the end, and it did.
It did.
And it looks like you had already downloaded it the other day without knowing, maybe? Although
No,
it's a different color, it's a different one, yeah.
no,
Yeah, it's a
my
different,
roommate did it for me, and I didn't
okay.
know what she was doing, so I
Yeah,
decided
no,
to
that's
ask.
good. And the thing is that, let me look for a second. I'm trying to see it bigger, but it's hard. I need to turn off follow presenters view. Trying to see this a little bit bigger myself. Give me a second,
Yeah.
because I'm seeing it so small, but my mouse isn't letting me. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna just have to go back to fit into the window. Okay. So this photo that just downloaded could have been here, and it was. Okay, everyone, when you download a photo from someone, if it came without a metadata of date on it, and this is probably a photo of a photo or a scan of a
That's
photo, it's
right.
probably not a digital photo. You guys got it? You can
Right.
tell that it's old enough that it wasn't taken just now. And what's up with this photo is that since it didn't have date and timestamp on it, it just showed up at the bottom of her library right there, as if it had just come in, which is fine. But it could have also not shown up here if the photo had had a date and stamp on it. Maybe it would have jumped and placed itself in 1983 or something. Does that make sense,
Yeah.
you guys?
Yeah, it was,
So how do you find it if it doesn't show up it did. So life is good. It showed up, but I want to prepare you guys for when sometimes it doesn't because it did have a time on it. So you would go over here to imports. Now, if you guys tell me I don't see imports, there's two problems. A, Molly has the old version. She's in Monterey. She's in a different operating system. So
right.
her sidebar looks different, okay? So in the new one, we don't have the imports that she has. So she has the word imports. So go ahead and click on imports. And there it is. So say that this photo had been dated 1983 or whatever, 2019, it would have been hard to find. But the imports, it would always show you in order of when it was imported. And this was imported on July 22nd, which is today, right now. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So if you don't find it under the library, you can find it here. And then over here, you can go ahead and right click on it and give it a name or something you recognize so that then later you can go, or you can also look at the info of it and see when it's dated. And then you'll go, oh, okay, I had to go find it. I need to go find it over there in July of 1983. Does that make sense to you guys? And you got it? Give me a yes. Now, I don't have yeses and nos from before. I see Thomas saying no. Thomas, can you replace yours with a raised hand so that you pop up at the top? And then everyone else, give me a yes or a no if this made sense to you. Now, most of you don't have the word imports. So I'm going to show you what I would do if it's the new version. But first, let me finish with Molly's questions. Okay. So
Okay.
Molly, you weren't done. You had more to ask me, which is how to how to get the second one in maybe, or no?
We could do the second one because
Well, what I'd like
let's
to
see.
do, yeah, so go to the second one. Although it's the one, it seems like it's the same photo twice.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
But
it
prac
doesn't
Other
matter.
but
one.
but practice.
Okay. All right, so right click on that one.
Mm-hmm.
But what I wouldn't mind you doing is
And then
doing the second one from the full. So go to export to photos.
I export the photos. Okay.
And so
And
see, it won't
then
export
and
it again because
it's the
it's
same.
just been exported. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Now, if you want to put it in something, don't click on my albums. Open this little arrow. Instead of clicking on the albums, go to the little arrow. And today we're going to be talking much more about albums, but no, the arrow of my albums. Nope. See, you
Oh, my
clicked on
album.
it. And the
My
reason I said
albums.
don't click on it is because you left and the photo isn't there anymore. So
Okay.
go back to import so that we see your photo. Now you have it there. Now
Mm-hmm.
open the little arrow, not the word my albums, but click on this little arrow so they
Right
expand.
here.
Not there, no,
Right here.
where my circle is. No, where my, yeah, there.
Right here.
On this inside the circle, that arrow there, click. So now you open your albums. If you
Okay.
happen to have an album that's already set up for photos of your daughter, you don't,
Mm-hmm.
right? But say that you did have one, then
Yeah.
you could drag it from there to here. But you don't happen to have an album right now. So maybe you had old family photos. Maybe let's try
Yeah.
that. You have this one
Yeah,
called old
I think
family
so.
photos. So
Yes.
now put your mouse over here and just drag it and drop it in old family photos. And wait until your mouth a bit higher. There we go. Old family photos has been, nope, now you went up higher. Go down one. There. And now let go of your mouse. There you go. So now go into old family photos. Go ahead and click on that. And there it is. There's
Thank you.
your daughter's photo. Now,
Thank you so
I'm going
much.
to show people how to do this if this was on the new version. And then I'm also going to show how to download photos when you're on an iPhone. Okay. So I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
stop your share right now.
Thank you.
And I'm going to share that first, and then I'll go to your questions, Thomas. But let me share over here. So now, if you go to your mail and download something, you won't find it. There's no imports here. What there is recently saved. So anyone who has Ventura, Sonoma, or Sequoia, well, I don't know Ventura. Ventura might still say imports. I'm not sure when they changed it to recently saved. It's either in Sonoma or Sequoia. Then it says recently saved instead of imports, because now people save them instead of importing them, which was the name they used before. Now, if you go to the phone, it'll say save to photos instead of export to photos. Like they've changed the wording. So now you go to recently saved and then you would find it here. Does that make sense, you guys? So for those of you who have now, if you've never saved a photo from an email or a text, you might not see the word recently saved. Why? Because it hasn't been done, so it's not activated yet. And this will only be there if you have. So then go to your texts or to your emails, save a photo to photos, and then recently saved will show up. That's if you don't happen to see the recently saved. Now I'm going to share my phone. And if I had, now I'm sharing it, so it's not sharing at the same time. It's just sharing. Hold on. Advanced iPhone via cable. Let me see. Okay, so now I'm sharing my phone. And if I receive a photo by text, for example, and I'm going to go to my text and remember that this photo, this camera, I don't really have many photos, but I do have. So I think that here, someone sent me a photo here, Rebecca. Oh, but this one I've already downloaded, so that doesn't work. It needs to be a photo that I haven't downloaded. So did you remember that I showed you last time this little icon? I downloaded this one by clicking on the icon. I don't want to do this one right now because then you will see it'll disappear and then I won't have one to answer. But I want to keep that one unanswered. But this one is the photo that now you saw in my recently saved in my computer, or you can click and hold it. And you can say click and hold like a long click. So what do you mean by click and hold? This is the photo I want to save. I click and hold it down like with your fingers, straight hold. And then it says save. And you go to save. And where do you want it? And it'll say save to photos. Mine has already been saved to photos. So now it says it's already been saved. Do you want to save the duplicate? And I'm like, no, it's fine. I don't want to save a duplicate. But if it hadn't been already saved the other day, then it would say save to photos. Does that make sense, you guys? So everyone except for Thomas, whose hands is up, give me a yes if you've been able to save a photo from your text or your email to your Photos app, and if you found it. Okay, now I'm going to clear your answers. So Thomas, your hand will disappear, but I know that you've raised it. So everyone, give me a yes if you were able to save from your phone and from your email. I want you to, or from your text from your computer. I just want you to save from both computer and phone, and then find it. Find that photo that you saved in your other device. Okay. Give me a yes. And then meanwhile, yes, Thomas, what's your question?
First of all, I did try the find people and pets, and it was
Yeah.
incredible because it distinguished among 3 different cats. I thought that was pretty phenomenal.
I
And
was
they really
shocked.
looked
Yeah.
that different.
And
But
you can tell them enough to make sure that it was right? Because I wouldn't be able to
yeah,
tell, but you're the dad, right? And so you can
yeah,
tell,
there
yeah.
were a couple that I had to say no, but
Yeah,
it was
same with my
pretty
kids. There were
incredible, I
a
thought.
couple I've had to distinguish of my kids when they were really little, but it's amazing. I don't know. I don't know how it
Amazing.
doesn't. I'm
Yeah,
so glad
amazing.
that worked for you. Cool.
But in the,
But
and this may be a question for the break, so stop me. But after class last time, I'm having this problem. It's incredibly slow because I have so many photos.
oh, yeah.
And you told me to increase my capacity in the cloud. And I did that. And then I called up the Apple people to say, can you help me migrate my photo library from
Oh,
an external disk to the iCloud? And they said, you can't do that. You have to go buy a new hard drive.
a new hard drive.
Yeah, that I
Well,
can't use
they're saying basically you need to
iPhotos
have them
as
in
my
your
photo
computer.
library.
Oh,
I have to have
okay.
it externally.
Okay, so here's the workaround. I see what's happening. Because your computer has to be able to fit all the photos, or your phone has to be able to fit all the photos for them to go to the cloud, even if then the cloud takes the big ones and your phone and your computer take the small ones. But at one point, they need to be in that device. I understand now.
So
versus
that's
having it be
correct.
on an
That's what I
external
need to
drive.
do.
Which I hate when the answer is get a new computer, but in this case,
Well,
that kind of makes sense only in that you have a very small hard drive. And at some point, they need to be in the device that then sends them to the cloud. After that, it leaves the small versions, but you need, and you can't do it in parts. I was going to say, can you divide your volume into parts? But you can't do that because if you divide it into parts, then only one is connected to the cloud. I'm trying to see if there's a workaround. Like, can you import half of them, have them go to the cloud, and when they're small, import the other half? That's a possibility. But I don't know if the computer would go, oh, it's too full, you can't. So try this as a thought. And I don't know if this is a solution, guys, but I'm just shopping it through as we speak. If you go to the iCloud.com, and since this is good for everyone, have I taken you all to iCloud.com yet? I think we haven't been at iCloud.com in this class yet, right?
Yeah,
no, I think so.
This class? No, you've been
I
there,
think
Molly,
so.
Before. You've been there before, Molly, but I don't think
Yeah,
this
sure.
class.
Oh, okay.
People who've been in my classes before don't remember if I did it in this class or in another class. So that's why I'm appealing to people who are new to my class. I don't think I've taken you guys yet to iCloud.com. So watch. Everyone go open a browser, any browser. This is something I thought I had done, but I haven't done yet. So let's all do it. And open a browser. And we're going to go ahead and create a new page. We're going to write iCloud.com. And we're going to go to iCloud.com. So once you are at iCloud.com, please raise your hand. By the way, while people are getting there, Thomas, so even though you had a slow computer, as long as you waited enough, it did recognize cats and faces and people. At first it wasn't, but if you gave it enough time, it did do it.
Yes, it did.
It's good to know. So yeah, that it takes so much time that it's kind of a big wait. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so
And I
everyone,
happen to computers, so that really is not a very appealing alternative. But you're
no, it
saying
isn't.
if I
No.
stay on the external
Well,
hard,
hold on. Let me just
okay, all right,
show you a plan B and you tell me if it's working. I don't know.
all right.
Did you already buy more space in the cloud?
I did, and the Apple
Okay.
lady said, you don't need it, I'm gonna cancel it, go buy a new.
Oh, well, here's the new, well, that's good that they did that, but now you won't be able to try this because you need to buy more space in the cloud. At this point,
Well, I have
hold
it for
on,
a month
then
until it
what I was,
cancels.
for a month, exactly, and then you can so yeah, if you don't like it, if it doesn't work in a month, you just cancel it and then you only pay once, right? So it's not a big. Okay, everyone, I'm waiting for a yes that you're on the iCloud, and I see 3 hands are up, like questions, but I see only 1 yes from Harry, so
Oh, you
everyone else,
said,
oh,
you
are
said
you?
raise your hand if
Oh,
you,
that was my bad then. Sorry. Okay, switch that to a yes. I apologize. Thank you, Mary Ellen, for correcting me. I meant to say, give me a yes. Like once you're in the iCloud.com, when you got to this page, now let's sign in. So let's click on sign in. And you're going to have to say, do you want to sign in with your Apple account? And remember, this is the Apple ID that we've learned. It's your Apple ID. As long as it's your Apple ID, you say yes. Put in your computer's password, which I just did, or if you have the kind that you touch with your finger, which I just did, and I am into my iCloud.com. Now, iCloud.com is this place where it's not the computer, it's not the phone, it's not the iPad. It's this place that you access from any computer in the world as long as you know your Apple ID and your password. Now, this is important. Everyone pay attention to me. Stop signing in. Look at me. Look at me. This is so important. You need to try to do this from someone else's computer. Your computer knows you and your computer says, oh, is this you? And then you say, give me your password, and you put in your computer's password and it let you in. But the only time you really need to go to the iCloud.com is when there's been a disaster, your computer died, you lost your phone, you don't have access to your devices. Maybe a flood came through and took your whole house. Once you buy a new computer, once you buy a new phone, you need to put in your computer, your Apple account and your password. Which password? Your iCloud password, which you won't know unless you've practiced it, right? So how do you know if you don't know it? You have to go. Imagine that you traveled to Europe, you left your computer at home, and now you lost your phone, and now you need to go to iCloud.com. Well, you need to go to the hotel computer and type iCloud.com. That iCloud.com, that computer doesn't know you. It won't remember your passwords. Does it make sense what I'm saying? You won't have your computer's help if you lost your device. So you need to know your iCloud account password, which is not the same as your computer's password. Okay, enough said. As homework, between here and next week, try to use someone else's device, someone else's phone, someone else's computer, go to the library, borrow a library computer. Just try to go to iCloud.com and enter your Apple ID and password. And if you don't know that, then you're in trouble because in case of disaster, you won't be able to get into your account. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Hope that's pretty clear. I'm seeing lots of yeses, so I'm assuming. Okay. Here it is. I'm in the iCloud.com. If you see your photos here, it's because you put your photos in the cloud, which is about half of you guys. Half of you guys have your photos in the cloud and the other half don't, right? I think in this class, or was that my other group? No, that was my level 1 class has half their stuff in the cloud. How about this class? How many of you guys are seeing your photos in the cloud? Let me clear your answers. So if you answered something, I'm clearing them all up. If you have your photos in the cloud, give me a yes, just so that I'm pretty clear that who in the class.
Oh, no,
has it.
no. I meant to do that.
Okay.
Yes.
Now these photos that I'm seeing right now, this isn't my computer anymore. This is the iCloud.com. I'm in a browser and I am seeing all my photos. Okay. Now, Thomas, the slight workaround that I'm suggesting is you go into the cloud, into your photos library like this, and then see where it says upload photos. Then you navigate to your hard drive, your external hard drive, which I don't happen to have one here. Select a couple photos from there and upload them and see if it's working. And if it's working, then maybe you can do that straight to the cloud from your hard drive. Does that make sense what I'm saying, Thomas?
I'm not sure, so I guess the answer is no.
All
So
right.
you're saying move it
When
from,
you went to iCloud.com,
yeah,
you need to have turned on the feature to send your photos to the cloud. And I don't know if you have it turned on. If you have it turned
No.
on,
no, but
Okay.
I tried turning it on and they still didn't show up.
okay, so we need to figure out what's missing in your settings. But in this case, it's so that you enable the cloud to have your photos. You won't be able until you buy more space to put them all. Well, you said that you did buy more space. Okay.
Yeah,
So go ahead and share your screen and let's see if we can get some photos in there. Now, everyone else, give me, let me see. Who does not have their photos in the cloud? I know Thomas didn't, and there was someone else who didn't have their photos in the cloud in this class. Who was it? I think Yolanda has them. Carol, do you have your stuff in the cloud? I think you do. Bob does. Someone who's not here today. You guys, there's not many people here today. Where's everyone gone to? I didn't get any emails either. Normally people email me when they can't come. Okay. Everyone who's here has their photos in the cloud.
It's a little different, but iCloud asked me, I asked the screen, join, make us some email, iCloud.com email. why do I need that, or what is different?
All right, so if you go to your computer or your phone's settings, it doesn't matter which. I'm going to share my screen now while Thomas is working on that. Hold on. So here is my computer system settings. Okay, my computer system settings. You can do this on your phone system settings, but I'm not showing you my computer right now. If you go up to the name that shows up on top, which is your name, in your computer settings, it'll be your name. Right
Oh,
underneath that, there's an email. That is your iCloud account.
also I make my iCloud.com. Yeah.
No, you
So,
don't. Whatever
me?
shows up here,
Mm-hmm.
whatever shows
Really?
up. So go to your system settings, click on this name here, and then look at whatever is showing up here. Whatever is showing up here is your iCloud account. For some people, it's an old email. For some people, it's a new email. For some people, it's a confusing email. Like, why is that one? I don't even know it. That was set up at some point by whoever connected you to the Apple ID,
Really?
and that is your
Mhm.
Apple ID. And
Mhm,
this
let
is
me
the
see.
thing that a lot of people confuse this with. It's like, but that's an old email. I don't use that email anymore. For example, it doesn't matter. When you bought your first iPhone device, Apple device, say that 5 years ago was the first time you bought an Apple device, they asked you, what's your email? And you
Mhm.
told them, da 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 is my email. They wrote that in and it became your account. Now you've canceled that email, you moved on to another company, and that will still be your Apple account. It's not connected to your email address, it just became the name of your Apple ID, Apple account. Does that make sense, you guys? So for some of you guys, it's like, well, it's my current email, duh. And other people are like, I don't,
Yeah.
I don't use this email. I don't know. It depends on your situation. But for everyone, that is your Apple ID. Okay? Did you find your Apple ID now?
Yeah, Apple
Mhm.
ID, but there is not iCloud.com. It's still same. Yeah, my name and
So I'm going to
my
stop my share and go ahead and share your screen. So in case what is being asked is different, share your screen now, Unhi, please. Unhi, Anna, can you
yeah.
share your screen with me, please?
Screen, which one?
The one that you're saying is asking you all these questions.
Oh, wait a second. Okay.
You're not connected.
I find it.
You need to connect to Zoom
Oh
with it
yes,
first.
they asked me create your own yeah. How can I
No,
check
no,
this?
no, you can't. You should never create your own. That's why I'm saying stop. I don't want you to create
Ah,
anything. I need you to share your
okay.
screen before you make any disasters. Okay? I
Yeah,
need
thank
you
you.
to share your screen. So go to
Mhm,
your other device,
mhm.
whichever one it is, and share your screen with me so we can do this safely with me. Okay?
Mm-mm.
Have you not shared your screen with me yet? Didn't we practice at the beginning of the first day of class to share your screen?
No, I didn't. And then I don't know.
Oh, cause wait, you're on an
There on
iPad,
the
right?
bottom.
Yeah, yeah.
No, she's on are
iPhone
you
and
on an
iPad.
iPad?
Yeah, iPhone
Okay,
and iPad. But
all
I
right.
understand that. Oh, thank you. They always, yeah, my question is they always ask me, oh, create, yes. And then right now I, yeah, read carefully and that is created. Yes, okay. Why? Why we didn't, why we can created the iCloud.com, the email, I mean.
Because right now, I don't care at all about creating a new email. It's offering, do you want a new email address? It's offering you if you want to create an email address. That's a whole different conversation. You want to create an email address one.
Yeah.
But it's not part of this class. It's not part of this. And don't create a new Apple ID because if it's just create an email address, go for it. But create a new a new account or a new account name or ID as if you didn't have one. That's what you do not want to do. You want to always have the same account. I'm going to share my
Yeah.
phone right now with you guys.
Yeah.
And in my phone, okay, so now go look at your iPad or your phone because that's more similar to Unhi's situation. When you go to your settings,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
then at the you go all the way to the top where you see your name. Do you find your name in your settings on
Yeah.
your phone or
Yeah.
on your
Yeah.
iPad? click on that.
Oh,
And once again,
now I'm using my phone.
now under your name, right there, there's
Yeah,
an
yeah.
email address,
Yes,
okay?
right. My email, yeah, address.
You have an
yes.
email address. Okay, that is your Apple account.
Yeah.
And you never create a new one. That is going to be your
Oh.
Apple account. Now you can have many
Okay.
emails if you
Mhm.
want. If it's asking you, do you want to create a new email? Fine. But that is not the photos class conversation. So you can talk about that separately. I don't want you to create a new Apple ID. You need only one. You can never merge them if you create another one. So never create a new Apple ID. Okay. Now, if I go to the iCloud right here,
Mhm.
then there's my photos, and I'm now seeing them on my phone. And the important thing for Thomas is that if you don't, or anyone who does not have them synced, for
Me.
now, all I was trying to see is whether you can put them on the cloud. But it seems like you need to enable this. What is my concern is, hold on, someone's arriving. I need to let him in. Give me a second. Okay, so you need to enable photos for the cloud in your case for it to kind of be able to be done. But go ahead and share your screen. Let's see if we can enable it from the cloud itself without a device. And then you can put the photos up that
Are you
way.
talking to me? Share my screen?
Now, yeah, now Thomas, share your screen.
Share the album.
Okay, so now let me get my little
See.
annotation. Hold on for a second. There it is. Annotate. Here we go. So can you go into your photos right now? See, no. So, oh, you already have it turned on. Well, did you just turn that on?
Drive.
Did you just
No,
turn this on? Okay, it was already on. Go ahead and say done. I meant not in your system settings. I'm in your cloud right here. I want you to go to the
Mhm.
photos right here. I'm going to see what's happening here. Yeah, there.
so this
Okay.
is the 70 photos that I still have on my phone. Mostly I download to my computer and delete from my phone.
All right, so that means that you do have it
Mm.
enabled. Your phone and your computer are connecting. You just don't have your photos in here, but it's not that it's not working. You have it set up, but with only 70 photos. Got it?
I
So
don't
now
see.
let's go to upload
Upload.
up here.
I-
Look, see the cloud with an arrow pointing upwards? That's upload. Yep. Now go find your hard drive that holds your photos.
It's the external, there it is.
And
the-
oh,
look.
because you have your photos in the Photos app, but over here, I
On an
see.
external hard drive.
Okay, if these were individual photos, you could do it, but you can't, okay, you can't select this library. That's not gonna work, I see that. Now, what I was thinking is if your photos were not in this library, if they were out loose in folders, then you could do that. Do you have any photos somewhere that are loose, maybe in your documents or
Sure,
somewhere?
yeah.
Like
So go to
scans,
hard
a scan is
drive.
probably a photo. Go
Uh,
into your documents, or I don't know,
hard drive.
users. Your name. Yeah, do you have in your documents?
Yeah,
Go find a photo somewhere.
go find a photo, all right.
Okay, there's one, mural room. You just passed one. Okay, here's another one. Okay, click on one of these. Yeah, mural room right there. Okay, upload it. Now, this is uploading from your hard drive. Well, this is from your personal hard drive now, as opposed to
Photos library.
you didn't bring it from another hard drive, but it doesn't matter as long as you brought it, you brought it. Now over here, let's go to recent, no, that's recently deleted. Where's your recently saved? Because we don't know when you took that photo. So we don't know
Not
where it'll
recently,
be.
yeah, not recently.
Okay, go
Well-
take your,
You want a more recent one?
no, that's fine. It's just that we need to find it and I can't find it because the iCloud Photos is kind of limited and it doesn't have the same choices as your
There aren't-
computer.
There aren't many in here,
So
should be able to find it, but
let me
it takes
see.
a little while.
Yeah. So can you go over here to media types in case there's a choice there? It's just that, just click on that little, no, just click on the arrow to, didn't want to go to it. I just wanted to see what choices you had. Yeah, so it's only, you have very few photos, so it's all it has. Okay, so guys, what needs to happen right now, so handling the library from the cloud is not ideal. It's useful, but not ideal. So I was showing how you could upload photos that are loose, so to say. But his are already in a photos library, so that's why they probably said you can't do it, yeah. I'll think it through. But anyway, what I'm trying to say is that if the photos weren't in the photos library already, you could do it. And I'm wondering if you can extract everything.
But one at
can.
a time for 75,000 photos is the rest of my life.
No, I mean, I'm going to stop my share. And yes, now we need to continue after the end of class because this is more detail
Yeah,
than
all
what
right,
everyone
fine.
else needs to know. The part that I just showed, everyone needs to know how to upload photos, like in case you need to use the cloud, how to see the cloud, how to see your photos in the cloud. All that was for everyone. But now we got to the detail of how to upload your library, and that's a bit more punctual. So let's talk about this at the end of class a bit, okay?
Yeah. Diana,
Hmm?
I locked myself out for about almost 10 minutes.
That's
And
interesting.
yeah,
I haven't seen you in the waiting room. Were you in the waiting room? No.
no, but it took forever to get back in.
Oh, how strange. And you
So
went to the link in the email?
yeah, the
And
email.
what did it do? It just wasn't connecting?
It wasn't connected. Zoom disappeared, and then I had to
I just did get a message from school that they're having an outage, a power outage, and this isn't related to school. It's through Zoom,
I
but it
don't
is
think
the
so.
school Zoom, so I don't know.
Uh-huh. Okay, so I have to
Anyway,
stop with the recording.
I was talking mainly about stuff that has to do with the iCloud, iCloud.com.
Okay.
And you've been to iCloud.com, so I
Yeah,
don't,
I
I
have.
think you're fine. I think I know what you know, and I think you're comfortable with that.
Yes.
I had everyone sign in and see their photos there. And then Barbara had a question, which I think you were here when she was asking that, so I think you're fine. Don't worry too
Yeah,
much. I think you're fine. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mm. All right. So guys, let me clear everyone's answers now. So this that you see on the iCloud.com, if you lose all your devices and we all go, oh, I'll never lose them all at the same time. Well, you never know. You know, hurricanes, tornadoes, that kind of stuff happens. Even in Santa Barbara, we have the floods, the fires. That you have in the cloud will be the photos that you have. Everything else that's in a physical device will have disappeared. Now, the chances of it happening are minute, but it's not minute to have your hard drives die. Those external hard drives do die. And if all your photos are in a hard drive and the hard drives die because they stop working, not because of floods and hurricanes and all that kind of stuff, then whatever's in the cloud that you just saw, that's it for your photos. Everything else is gone. And that would be ridiculously painful. Harry mentioned that his hard drives died. He mentioned it last year, last class. And that sounds so terrible. And he travels all over, and I'm sure you had photos from everywhere. And yeah, it's like, you know how when people have a fire hit their house, they say that the hardest loss is all their photos, right? Well, more and more so, people have their photos on their phones and on the cloud. And so, for better, for worse, a lot of people don't lose their photos anymore, as long as their photos were digital, right? But for us old timers who still have photos and negatives and, you know, slides and all the stuff from our family and from our past, it's, if you don't have your stuff on the cloud, if you lose your phone, it's like losing all that stuff. Okay. So anyway, if you do have a hard drive, have it backed up and have some fresh ones. I mean, we talked about this last time, but I just wanted to reiterate. Now everyone's gone to iCloud.com. This is it. This is what you have. Now, if you were also, let me go back to share my screen. If you also happen to be, oh, I'm sharing the wrong thing. I'm sharing my computer. If you are on the, hold on. I'm sharing my entire screen. Here we go. If you have other stuff in here, and if you're in my other classes, I'm also teaching you how to have all your files and your mail and your contacts and everything else on the cloud, so that literally losing your phone is just a huge bummer because it's an expensive machine, but you don't lose almost anything else because everything else is here, not just your photos. You don't have to do that, but if that's something that you're interested and want to do, then that's what I teach in my Mac classes, the one that I'm teaching right now, the Mac level 1 class. So consider taking that. Okay, now back to the computer. I'm sharing my computer now. I am not sharing my iCloud.com. So close iCloud.com, move it out of the way, the browser out of the way, and let's go back to the computer application of photos. Okay. For those of you who are on your phone or your iPad, go back to the phone or iPad, not the version that's in your browser, but the version that's the computer. And now we're going to go ahead and start discovering the stuff that's underneath what we've been looking at, this in these little folders, and the ones that we're going to make ourselves. First of all, let's open utilities. Now, in the utilities, and this is something that Molly you won't have because
That's
the utilities
right.
didn't exist in the old version,
Yeah.
but you have a few of these words. And the one that's the most useful here is the duplicates. So let's everyone click on duplicates, and everyone who has Ventura, Sonoma, or Sequoia has the choice for duplicates. Once you found your duplicates, give me a yes. I need to see yeses from everyone except from Molly. Does anyone else here have an older computer? No, right? I think
I don't have duplicates.
no,
don't
because you don't have that feed. Barbara, you also have not the older
I have
computer,
an
but the
older, yeah.
older operating system.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Barbara doesn't have the choice for duplicates either. You have to be in Ventura, Sonoma, or Sequoia. That, if any reason to upgrade for the Photos app, you can't upgrade just the Photos app. You have to upgrade your operating system. If you have a computer that can't upgrade past Monterey, then you are looking at having to buy a new computer for your Photos app to upgrade. And if you're ready to do that, fine. But if you're not ready to do that, then this is one feature that whenever I say things that matter, yeah, I can live without my pets being found, but I can't live without my duplicates. Then, okay, put it, when the pros and cons to buying a new computer, put it on the pro side. I can't live without my pets being discovered. Okay, then put that on the pro side, right? Cons, it costs this much money. Okay, then don't buy it. Like you decide. But those are the two biggies right now that I'm pointing out to. One is the duplicates. Okay. So how does the duplicates work? I need to see everyone with a yes. So other than Molly and Barbara, Vera, Yolanda, Thomas, Mary Ellen, Bob, did you find your duplicates feature? Because if you
Yes.
don't see it, it's possible that you don't have any duplicates, right? Because it's possible that if you don't have any duplicates, you just don't see the choice. Because as in everything, when you don't see something, it's because it's not there. But in my case, I want to make sure that you're looking at the right place before you say that it's because I don't have duplicates, because you might have duplicates, you just might have not seen them. Okay, so Vera, I still don't see a yes or a no from you. Barbara, your hand is
I'm
up,
doing
yeah?
it on my phone.
Oh, yes, I was gonna say, Molly, you might have your phone. Thank you, Barbara, for reminding me that. You might be able to do it on your phone. Exactly. So, yes, on your iPad or on your phone, you can do this. Okay, so now I'm getting yeses from everyone. Vera, what's up? Do you not find it, the yes or no, or do you not have the choice for duplicates? Okay, you're muted, so I can't tell if you don't have the choice because it's an old version. I don't think so. I think you have a new version, or if you just don't have duplicates. Maybe you cleared them all up already. But I want to distinguish that. And I can't hear you, so I can't tell. Can you unmute yourself so we can talk for a sec?
Who are you talking to?
Yeah.
I'm talking to Vera, but she's muted, so I can't hear her.
In
Let me see. Are
iPhone,
you writing anything in the chat?
in
Vera's requesting, no, I can't, hold on, let me stop my share and now you can share. There we go. Vera, can you share? Since I was sharing, you couldn't share. So let's see what's happening with Vera. So there's a good question from Carol. How do you end up with duplicates? So give me a second. And let me see. Utilities, handwritten documents, and year version. Okay. One more place you can check just to make sure that it's not that it's missing is okay, I see that it's not there. So let's head over here. I believe it's under edit. Let me see where it was, or image.
edit.
Where is it? Hold on, let me see where it would be. Let me just check on my own. I'm trying to see where it would be. View. Or did they move it from here completely? Because now that oh, before you opened it up from there, now that they moved it into it used to be you would say edit, sorry, not edit, you would go to image, find duplicates, but it looks like now that they put that as a feature, look at that. They took it off. Okay, so I'm not trying to be quizzical, but they used to be that you could go over here to find them. But then I guess the feature was so well liked. Oh, God, my mouse isn't right. I keep saying here, I'm trying to write, there it is. It wasn't writing. You used to be able to go up here to say find duplicates, but they took the feature off because they added it here. But anyway, the fact that they added it here means then that if it's not here, it's because you just don't have any duplicates. Now, just to make sure, you might want to make a duplicate. So let's test. Go to the library. Go up there to the library.
Go to the library.
And now choose, I don't know, the last photo of your screen or whatever photo, that doesn't matter, and make it a duplicate.
How do you make it a duplicate?
You say
Okay,
right click, make duplicate. So now you have a duplicate. So now let's see.
Would it appear immediately?
No, I don't know what it would take for it to appear. Also, since you forcefully made it, maybe the computer thinks that you wanted it. So I'm not 100% sure that this will work, but what you can do is if you go to a text or to a mail, download a photo that you've already downloaded and it says, are you sure you want it again? You already have it. Go ahead and say yes. Then you will see two that are not made like this, and then we'll see if it says duplicates, because I'm just wanting to confirm that you truly don't have any versus that it's not there. You know what I mean? So go ahead
Oh, I have
and,
three recent.
well, you would have to go to your phone or to your computer, go find a text and download a photo from that someone sent you and download it twice. So maybe do it on your phone. Unless you get texts on your computer, you can go from your computer to download it. Because when you download something you've already downloaded, it'll say, are you sure you you want to do this again? If you say yes, then you'll have two of them, and that will be an actual duplicate. Does that make sense? So while you do that, I'm gonna go ahead and stop your share. And then later we can check in on you and see how we're doing. All right, so now how do this duplicates thing work? I'm gonna go back to
Yeah.
mine. Okay, so oh, and I need to show you guys how this duplicates things works on the phone too, for those of you who are just doing it on
Yeah,
the
I
phone
got
because
it.
you have older systems. You found it? Okay.
Yeah, I
So
got it.
basically, when you click on duplicates, I have a ton of duplicates and I leave them here because I need to teach this, because once you clear them up, you don't have any more, then I can't teach. But I have 57 photos and 3 videos that are duplicates. Now, what does it mean that you have a duplicate? Because you might see 2 photos that are the same and they look the same and the metadata right
Mhm.
there is the same. So let me turn on the metadata for these, and here's a little metadata thing. And if I click on this one, nothing is switching here because they are virtually identical. These are 2 of the exact same thing. So I know that I'm safe, that if I merge them, life is good. I'll just merge them, no problem. So I'm just going to click on merge 2 items. And it says, these are exact copies. See how it's even telling me? These are exact copies. Okay. If so, we will keep one version. If there's any, okay, if there is any different metadata, then we will keep one and we will put all the information in both. So say that this one is the copy of that one, but you had written a title on one of them and not on the other. Then when they merge into one, it'll keep the title. Does that make sense? It won't lose what one has. It'll merge them both. So if I go ahead and say, sure, merge these 2, they now disappeared. Why did they disappear? Because I don't have a copy of that one anymore. Now I have one. So off it goes. And now it says I only have 55 photos to handle because 2 photos, right? 2 of the photos have been dealt with. So this 55 photos means 1 and 1. When I deal with these 2, I'm going to go down to 53 photos. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
So it's not like it's 55 times 2, 110. Okay, so these are easy because these are exact copies. Well, easy in the sense that they're exact copies. But I always keep some samples here where the photos are not exact copies. And where do I have those? Here. So here's an example where it's the exact same photo, huh? There's no question it's the same photo. But if I click on one and the other, see how this is changing?
Mhm.
So big changes. One has location data. This is Imaranari in front of the Mission Canyon. But that's the least important. This one has a title. It's been titled. Okay. But this is the part that really, really matters. This is how many pixels this image has. And every time I click away, the information clicks away. So I need to, and this is how big the file is based on how many pixels it has. I have to keep bringing it up each time. Okay, so now that I've made those circles, now look at this one. 2250 by 3000 versus 3000 by 4000. So this one has half the amount of pixels and half the size. This one's 2.5. It's not half, but it's 1.6. So what this means is that if I'm going to choose between these 2 and merge them, I don't want to lose the big one. The only one I want to lose is the small one. Does that make sense? This might have been one that got made small to send to someone in 2016, which when this was taken, you still had to do that. So I probably made a smaller one to share or social media, who knows? And then I have the big one that came out of the camera. Over here, there's another one that's 4.9 versus 4.7. So it's typical. So now if I try to merge these 2, and I'm going to click on it, let me cancel because I need to move the pink thing so you can read here are my drawings. So if I merge these two, it says these appear to be the same, but they might have unique resolutions, file formats, other different. See how the message is different? It didn't say merge exact copies. It says merging will keep only one version of the duplicates, but it'll combine the highest quality and relevant data and move the rest to the recently deleted. So basically what they're saying is they're going to choose the one that has the mostest of the bestest, so to say, and get rid of the others. So if I were to merge these two, that's okay, because it'll keep the big one. Does that make sense?
Mhm.
Now, when this feature first started, it wasn't so working, many years ago, working so well. And I recommended doing each one individually. But if you have thousands of duplicates, you just need to trust and go merge all, right? Because otherwise it's like going crazy. But if you have the chance, see how here's one 74 KB, this one's 84 KB. It doesn't say where it was taken, but this one only has one person described. This one has two-person described. This one has only one person described, and it's a smaller pixel. So this is the same photo 3 times with lots of different information, okay? So if you merge them again, it'll merge 3 and it'll say the same thing, that it'll combine one and keep the most information. All right. By the way, oh, how wonderful. This is Yolanda, who's in this class, and this is my mom from when she used to visit me. Look at how
Oh,
cool.
yeah,
Aww. So there we go. Yolanda's right there, and that's my mom. And when is this one from? It's
2014.
from 2014. Look at
14.
that.
My
2014.
gosh.
That is so long ago. 10 years ago, 11 years ago. Yeah.
Mhm.
Anyway, so here we go. Let me show you how to do this on your phone. And then, Carol, I still haven't answered your phone of, how do you get duplicates? Well, in the past, every time you upgraded from one version of OS to another, the computers would sometimes create duplicates. So a lot of people have thousands of duplicates, and I'm talking thousands because the whole system messed up. Not always, you'd upgrade fine, 200 people would upgrade fine, and then one of those people would upgrade, and suddenly they'd have like random hundreds of thousands of duplicates in there, hundreds or thousands, depending on how many photos. Not all your photos, it was crazy. So you'd go find your files and you'd see duplicates everywhere. So this has been really wonderful in cleaning up duplicates. That's one way. Another way is that you had duplicates in different parts of your computer and you imported them all. And one had a file name and the other one didn't have a file name. So as far as the computer is concerned, that's 2 different files. So it allows you to duplicate, so put them both in, and then you come back here and this tells you that difference. But otherwise, it only flags it as a duplicate to not import if it's identical, but the moment it's not identical, it just lets you upload 2 different ones. Does that make sense? So those are 2 ways of getting duplicates. Another one is making your own, like I just had Vera, I told her right click and make a duplicate. So that's another way. Okay, so if you're on your phone, you can go to the very, 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 very bottom, and there's the utilities, and there's your duplicates. And so here are my duplicates, and oops, click my duplicates there. And I can go ahead and merge them here. I could also select and merge them all at the same time. I am still, unless you have hundreds and thousands of them, I would still go and do them one at a time. As I said, I only do one at a time for demo purposes for you guys, but other than that, I don't because I need my demos. But yeah, that's important to me to have here samples to show. But more and more, as these things stop happening, then there's less and less duplicates. But I've been teaching these classes for many, many years, and people have had duplicates for many, many, many years up until, I'd say up until Monterey. A lot of apps, every time they updated, would create duplicates. I don't think it's been happening now for, I don't know, for the last 7 years or so. So as people deal with a duplicate. Someone just said, I don't see duplicates on your phone. If you don't see duplicate, well, if it's not under utilities and you don't see duplicates on your phone, it's because you don't have any duplicates. So then it disappears. Got it? The feature, if it's not there, it disappears. It just doesn't sit there and say, you have no duplicates. It just doesn't show up because there's no need for it. And that's what apps do now. If you don't need it, it's not there. But how do you know? You know what I mean? And that's how you know is if you don't see it, you don't have it. Okay. Vera, you wrote, I have my phone plugged in, but nothing is importing. Well,
It's,
Vera,
there's
do
a
you have
message
yourself in the
saying-
cloud?
Yes. Can you hear?
Yeah, because if you have stuff in your cloud, if your photos are in the cloud, then when you plug in your photo, nothing should import because everything has been brought through the cloud.
Okay.
Well, you
when-
go ahead and share your screen because you were
where
trying
do
to
I
share
go?
before.
Okay. Let me see if I can do that.
So the only
There's a
people who
message
need,
saying optimized storage is turned on. There's iPhone is using iCloud Photos with optimized storage. Some photos and videos may not be available for import. So,
if you share your screen, let me see what that's all about.
yeah.
Guys, if you're
Yes,
using
sir.
the cloud system, the cloud is taking care of importing everything. You don't need to plug it in. If you plug it in and try to drag them in, it'll say there's nothing to import. Because you are plugged in. So go ahead and turn off that search. So you have, you need to clear the word duplicates because it's looking for duplicates.
There were no duplicates,
Yeah,
because probably if there's a duplicate, I just, okay, I'll get rid of it. So that's probably
go ahead.
why
Hold
there's
on.
no war.
Hold on. Don't get rid of anything yet. First, let's see. First of all, this one, let's turn on the metadata. Let's turn on the info window here. And there's a lot that look like duplicates from afar, but they're all just many photos of the same moment, right? But some things are actual duplicates. This was duplicated. By this, I mean, we did this just now. These are actual duplicates. She just made that. So now go ahead and put
Yes.
the info window a little bit closer so we can see it together. Just drag this guy a little bit closer. This, oh, wow, why can't I write on your screen? There, can you grab this guy and move it a little bit closer to the photos so we can, you need to grab it from where I started. Yeah, no, yeah, from there, you need to grab it from the top by the word info. Yeah. Okay, so now click on this one, on the photos. Click on one photo and then the other. Choose your photos. This one. Select your photo.
Choose
Okay.
the other.
So you're not choosing the photo yet, so you need to select the photo. There we go. There's the info for this photo, and now select the info, select the other photo, so we can read the info for the other photo, see if it's identical.
It doesn't react.
Well, technically it shouldn't because they are identical to each other, but I'm just trying to see if that's what's happening.
Hmm.
It's not, can't you click on this one, on the other one? It's not clickable?
Using
So can you click on another one? Is it just not clicking on this one? What's happening? That's so weird.
do it individually, both of them.
No, not both, one at a time.
Hmm.
I don't want you to choose both. I want you to choose one at a time. There we go. So now go back and forth and let's look at the metadata. I'm having a hard time for some reason. I can't write on your. I can't write. Okay, so if you click on this one and then this one and then this one and then this one, like the two, I can't write. I don't know why I can't write on your, so I'm trying to show you what to do, but I can't write. But anyway, if you click on one and the other, nothing is changing in the metadata, is it?
No.
No?
It's the
But I
same
don't see the
photo.
second one. I don't see the second one being selected. Are you selecting any? Okay, now select, it's the exact same photo. So you do have a duplicate, but since we made it, like we literally, you did a right click and said make duplicate. I'm not sure if it counts or if the computer thinks it's on purpose. So let me check on mine, okay? Because maybe something's not working on yours. I'm going to stop your share. I'm going to share my screen. Meanwhile, everyone, hopefully you've handled your duplicates while I'm doing all this work. So I'm going to go to my library and I'm going to select something and I'm going to make a duplicate. I'm going to make 2 of this peacock. I only have 1 of this peacock, I can tell. I'm going to say right click and duplicate 1 photo. And now it's duplicating. And now I have 2 peacocks, right? So now let me go see if those 2 peacocks appear in my duplicates. And nope, they're not appearing in my duplicates. So it's like if you forcefully duplicate it, it doesn't work. See what I mean?
Mm.
It still says 55 photos. So that's probably what's happening, that you forcefully created it. Thus, now I'm going to delete it because I don't want that extra photo in there. So that's probably what's happening. And that's why you don't see the word duplicates, because you don't have duplicates. So that's good news. Now you do have one because you created it. Now right click and delete it. Okay. Cool. Now I
have a
um,
question.
yeah.
It's a little different point, but when some pictures in utility and go to the album, we could do that.
So you have some photos in utilities.
Hidden or whatever, the handwriting or whatever, and then can I move to the album, make a new album, and then put
Yeah,
this.
so I'm going to explain that a little bit because I haven't really talked albums yet, but all these
album.
things, watch. Listen, I understand your question. It's like, I don't want to keep it under, I don't want to keep it under handwriting. I want to move it somewhere. That's your question. But guys, that's not how this works. The way this works is you only have 1 photo, you guys. In the library, there's only 1 photo always, period. There's 1 photo. If it appears under favorites, it's not a duplicate. It just happens to be another showing of the same 1 photo, right? So if this photo is showing up in my library, right? Say the photo here, this one of me, I really like this one, so I'm going to show this one. This photo of me with my angel wings, right? I'm showing it to you in my library. See, whoops, it's in my library. I was showing it to you in my library, back to it. But I also gave it a heart. So it's also showing under my favorites. There it is. But it's not that I have 2. It just happens to be that I made it a favorite. So if it also shows up under handwriting, it's because there's handwriting in that photo, but that doesn't mean that it's 3. So it just happens to also have handwriting. But I don't need to move it from here into something else. It just means that it has handwriting, but it didn't disappear from anywhere else that it's in. Does that make sense? So say that this is a favorite and I make it a favorite. Well, if I go to my favorites, there it is. And if I go to handwriting, there it is. And if I go to my library, if I look at the date of it, let me see, October 18th, 22. If I go to October 18th, 2022, here we go, 2021, 22, September, October. I need to find it, October
I
2022.
just find it.
And the search.
I know, hold on, it's just that so here's September 2022. There it is. So it's the same photo always. It just happens to fulfill 3 different qualities. A, it exists and its date. B, I said it was a favorite, so I'm seeing it there. C, it has handwriting, so I also see it there.
Mhm.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
I can also put it in another library saying class files, because this was a note that I did on the board. And I can then have it on a class file. But it's not like I need to move it from an album. Albums are just another place where the same photo shows up. Anna, does that make sense to you or not really?
Oh, but I really what I want to know that now is photo is all three in the on the phone in the phone, yeah. And then I want to make the same photo to the album only. The other
Okay.
one is deleted. Yeah. Can I do that?
Yeah, I'm not sure you want to save it to a photo album. We're going to talk about albums later today. We're getting there. I'm getting to albums.
Okay, I'm
So
waiting for that.
hang
Yeah.
in there for a few minutes and
Yeah,
then
yeah.
when we get to albums, we'll see if that answers your question. But
Oh,
right
yeah.
now, does everyone else understand what I mean about a photo exists only one
Mhm.
time?
Yeah.
And maybe, so for example, if this is a photo, say this is my sister. She could be in an album called Favorites. She could be in an album
All lights.
called Family. She can be in an album called Vacations because she came to to my vacation with me. She can be in an album called Paintings because someone painted her. She can be in many albums, but it's still one photo. So any photo that shows up, you can put an LB album you want. So if you make a folder called Uni, you can put that photo in that album called Uni. But let me continue a little bit further with this, and then we're going to get into creating our own albums, okay? So for now, let me just say that I am going to
Ready, HABC.
Bob, I'm going to mute you. There. Bob, I'm going to mute you. Okay. So these things are not things that you've chosen. Again, it's just things that the computer discovers in your photos. It discovers that there's some handwriting on some photos. So you click on handwriting, and if you have any photos that have handwriting, it'll put them in here. Now, I have other photos with handwriting that it didn't recognize. I went and looked for one, but not everything is recognizable. Like this, I said, where's the handwriting in this one? There's no handwriting there. And then I went, oh, look, there's a little bit of handwriting back there, right? So this is from when I used to teach at the city college, which I still do in person. But on this one, on the other hand, I really don't see any handwriting. And then I go, oh, yeah, right here. You see that? So there's a little bit of handwriting somewhere in those. Now, this isn't handwriting. This is a book, but it's in a kind of font that looks like handwriting. You know, it's like one of those handwritten fonts. So it considered it handwriting. So what about illustrations? Well, the computer's looking at all my stuff. And in the past, when I used to show this, it really looked at things that were illustrations. But now that I was in Spain and took a lot of photos of these mosaics, turns out that mosaics are considered illustrations as well. Actually, that one, clearly there is an illustration inside of the mosaic, but this is a mosaic and it's putting it in illustration. This is a ceiling, tiled little mosaic, and it's considered an illustration. These are, this is all Gaudí, this is Barcelona, of course. This is a little painted shack, a bus, well, a rest stop on the Camino, and there it is. It's an illustration. This has illustrations in it, and this is just, this is a subway instructions of what the stops are. Little screenshots is also considered illustrations. So I find that paintings, this is a painting from a museum, but it really does look like an illustration. So anyway, it's pretty vague. And I know that I have many other paintings that it didn't capture. So anyway, recently viewed. These are the ones that I've been just selecting and showing you guys. So if I've done this and made it bigger, it showed up on the list, right? See, these are the ones I've been just showing you. So that's what recently viewed is. If I go back to my library and look for some random photo, the purple flower, and I view it, there it is. That's considered viewing it. If I go to recently viewed, there it is. That's the last one I recently viewed. Does that make sense? And it wasn't there before. See, there's nothing next to the purple flower. I'm going to go back to my library and I'm going to look for some other random photo. Here, I'm going to view this one. All I'm doing is hitting the space bar, okay, to make it big and small. That's considered viewing it. I go back to recently viewed. There it is, right next to the purple flowers. Okay, so anything that you thought you had just found, and where did it go again? I don't know. Well, go to recently. Cool feature. But after a while, recently, I was probably showing this to you some, in the last few weeks that we've been teaching is when I recently viewed all those. Stop me if you have any questions, otherwise I'll keep going. Oh, there we go, Molly, you raised your hands. You don't have any of this in your phone, in your Monterey. Okay, so if that's the question, you don't have this. This is all new.
Oh,
But yeah, what's your question?
I was just wondering about illustrations. Did you do it individually, illustrations, or did you program it in and then it was automatically done?
No, you don't have it because you're in the old version. This is just the new I didn't do anything. This just exists in the new version of Photos.
Oh, that's great.
I didn't do it.
Thank you.
All of this that I'm doing is see receipts, photos of receipts. It's pretty cool. It recognizes from all my photos. If you photograph your receipts and then when the day you need to do taxes, you click on receipts and you open up and there's your receipts. Pretty cool. So it's just the computer recognizes them. It imports things that I've just imported. Documents, if you have anything that's a document. So for example, this is a document that I just uploaded. It's my Compostela that says that I completed my Compostela, whatever, which is the thing I just did I in Spain. And I photographed it in case I lost a piece of paper, which came home kind of scrunched, but at least I photographed it the moment they gave it to me, so it wasn't so scrunched. But that's appearing under documents. But it's also putting this receipt as under documents. So I guess because it has a lot of text in there, I don't know. This, which is a list of glaze colors, it's also considering documents, so who knows? You need to go. So this is all, you can't tell it, this photo is a document. Like I don't see any which way to go over here and find something and tell it, hey, label this a document because, there's no way. But I do know of some other art. For example, there was 4 of these photos of the illustration. This is during the pandemic. My son always made drawings at the Imaranari, and this was what happened in 2020 when she was graduating and Imaranari was done in the people's driveways. I don't know if you remember that. They didn't do it in the real thing. So this is our driveway, and he's making this painting of her in her graduation gown with her mask. So this is all illustration, right? Even that's illustration. But if I go to illustrations, all of those are not appearing there. Only one, this last one appears, right? But the rest is illustration. So all I'm going to say is I can't go back to this and say, hey, but that's also an illustration. Can I label it illustration? Why not? It isn't labeling it. See what I mean? The only one that appeared is this one. The rest, I guess, because they're upside down or sideways. The only one it figured out was this one, I guess, because it's forward, right? It's the only one that appears under illustration. I think the rest it wasn't able to capture, but this is also an illustration. So it's not perfect, okay? That's the only one. Oh, and the finished thing. It also figured out the finished thing, but it didn't figure the sideways ones. Yet, this is another illustration that my son did, and I did photograph it sideways, and yet it did understand as an illustration. So I don't know what to say. This is just artificial intelligence labeling it illustration. I have a bazillion photos of mosaics and it only chooses a few anyway. So recently edited. We're going to be editing photos, not this week. In the next couple of weeks, as we continue with this class, we're going to be doing lots of editing. So we're going to get a photo that has the wrong color and give it the right color. things like that. We're gonna crop, we're gonna retouch, there's a lot of artificial intelligence now going into erasing things from the background that you don't want to see, and it suddenly have this lamppost in your sky, you can erase a lamppost. So that would be called editing. So once we edit some photos, they'll show up here if they've been recently edited. Shared, if I just shared the photo with someone, I remember last week I was sharing photos to teach you how to share, and I shared this photo with my own email, and it's appearing over here. So that means I recently shared it. So this is me sharing it to someone else. Okay, versus recently saved is someone sent it to me and I downloaded it. Okay, and then imports, if I imported it by dragging it over from a file or something like that. Okay, have you all been able to see these and they all make sense to you? I haven't explained hidden, but other than hidden, is everything else good? Give me a yes. If you have any questions, if one of these didn't work for you, then let me know. Now, if you've never edited a photo, you might not have recently edited. What I mean by edit, using all of the editing tools, which are these tools over here that I'm going to be teaching you about. If you haven't done that yet ever, then you might not have anything under recently edited. So you might just not have the feature called recently edited. Does that make sense? Okay. Do I get yeses everywhere? Do I move on? Let me see. Mary Ellen, Thomas, Bob. Mary Ellen answered on your other computer, Vera on your other computer. So just Bob Burtness because Bob Moran isn't there, and Thomas, all good? Yolanda, all good? All right, so that's all hiding under utilities. In the old version, Molly, you had a couple of these spread in a different place. Now they're all hiding under the utilities. Now on your phone, which I'm going to head over to my phone because Molly, you will have them on your phone because your phone does have the newer version. So as much as you had duplicates, you also have utilities. Now, how do I find them again? At the very bottom of my phone, there are the utilities, but there's so much less, right? Well, no, it's just that only a few are showing and the rest, you need to click on this arrow and then it shows you all of them. Okay? So if you were able to find your utilities on your phone, give me a yes. And again, it looks like there's only 4, but
Yeah.
if you click
Okay,
on that
I got it.
word, then you can slowly, oops,
Okay.
click on. Notice that I have one here that I
Yes,
didn't have in my computer. I have QR codes. So it's showing me a QR code choice, which I actually, oh, look at that. This is, oh, how funny. In this photo, this is a rental car and there's a QR code on it. And this is showing me QR code. Guess what? This didn't show up in my computer, but it's showing up on my phone. So there you go. They keep changing and
Yeah.
adding to these things, right? So there was the QR codes, which I didn't see in my computer. Although I have the same photos. So there you go. Now, the
Okay.
only one I haven't talked to you about is hidden. I have so much to show you, it's not so important.
it.
So let me just talk about it for a second, and then you guys can check it out a little more. But why would you have something
I
that
got
says hidden?
Hidden.
And let me actually share my computer. It's a bit easier to share for me from my computer. Here we go. So why would why would I have a feature called hidden? Well, first of all, it's hidden in that it's locked. But if I want to see them, if I go ahead and click on view album, it'll ask me to put in my password. So if someone knows your computer's password, if your person who lives with you knows your computer's password, they can get into your hidden photos, right? So how hidden really are they? Now, if I have these photos in my hidden album,
Yeah.
wouldn't I want to not see them at all, right? So why would you hide a photo? Well, say that there's a photo here that you want to hide. Say I want to hide this photo. Maybe it's a photo of your ex you never want to see, but you're not ready to throw away. Who knows? Maybe there's a photo you just don't want to see. Yeah. So you can right click the photo. You can right click on it. Why is my right click? Oh my God. My right click is not working. There. And I can say hide one photo. So you can choose a photo, any photo to hide. We'll see it again. We'll unhide it later. Let's hide one photo. So when I do that, it disappears. Now notice I have another pinchy cactus there. So when I lose this one, I'll lose only one. I'll have one pinchy cactus less. I'm gonna hide it. It'll be hidden for all places, but it could be found in the hidden album. Okay, okay. See how it disappeared? This is a different pinchy photo. Now I have only one. The other one disappeared. If I go to my hidden album that I just had to unlock, there it is.
Mhm.
Now, the whole point for me is if you truly want to hide a photo, then I wouldn't want to see that I can see my hidden photos. And you can do that. You can go to the top of your screen and you can hide your hidden photo album.
Mhm.
If I do that, now I consider that truly hidden. Because if someone comes to my computer and doesn't know about this, and I go over here and I've hidden this one, and I say hide, it's truly gone, and you can't find a hidden photo album here. Does that make sense? So that's actually hidden. But if they understand how to use a photos album and they know your password, well, all they need to do is go to view, show your hidden photo album, which then shows up. Then you click on it. Then you put in your computer's password. And there you are. Here are your hidden photos. Does that make sense? So don't put anything too secret in there because it's as long as they know your computer's password, they can get into your hidden photo albums. But say that you're trying to share some photos and you want some to be slightly more private, then this is a good way to do it. Now, when you want to see it again, you can just right click and say unhide that photo and it leaves and it's gone. And now it's not a hidden photo anymore. And now that photo is back in the rotation. Okay, when you go back to your libraries, there's the photo I just hid. That's the other one. All good with the hidden photo albums, you guys?
Mhm.
They make sense temporarily, but on the other hand, they're not really, really too private. If people know your computer's password, they can get anywhere, they can get into your hidden photo album. But if they don't know your computer password and they're just looking over your shoulder and you're just showing them 20 photos of your trip and there's 5 you don't want to show, you can hide them. And then when you're done, you can unhide them. But it's a little bit more easier than to, probably easier to just put the ones you do want to show in an album. And that's what we're going to head over next. We're going to say, instead of just showing them everything you don't want them to see, just put them in a place where you do want to see them. So anyway, that's the hidden photo album. Once it's unlocked, it remains unlocked for, I don't know, a short amount of time. I don't remember how long it stays, but you want to lock it yourself. You just click on the lock and it locked. So now I have to re-unlock it. And I have to go and do the unlock again. But if once it's unlocked, I think it has a time limit. And after that, it relocks itself. I don't know if it's 2 minutes. There's a certain amount of time it stays open. But if you want to close it right now, again, just click and it'll lock again. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So that's it for utilities. But they change them all the time. For example, I just saw the QR code one on my phone that I didn't see here. So, you know, they keep updating. They move things in and out. Those are the latest ones. All right. Media types. This one's a goodie. Now, you notice that when I went to Thomas's album, he only had 75 photos. And when I opened his media types, he had 2 types. Well, that's all he had. Now, what are these media types? It's types of photos that you've taken on your camera. So we're going to get a chance to do some practicing on your photos right now, but I'm looking at the time. Before I start on media times, let's do our break. I'm still on jet lag time, and for my
Yes.
phone, it's nighttime, and for my computer, it's 3 p.m. It's kind of weird, but I think it's break time. So when we
Yes,
get
it-
back, we're going to learn about the media types and what kind of photos you can take, and it does depend on the phone that you own. So if you haven't yet brought your phone to the class, go bring it. And since my time is completely wrong for whatever time you guys are living in, oh, I think for those of you who showed up late, I traveled to Argentina. I'm in my mom's house in Argentina right now, and that's why my times are totally off. Can somebody calculate for the times that you guys are living in? Can you calculate 15 minutes, please?
Yes,
3:30.
3:30.
Okay, be back at 3:30 p.m. All right, I'll see you guys in 15 minutes. Cool.
Set the timer for 15 minutes.
Okay, let's come back. Come back from break. Whoops, my pillow is falling out. So, I took a minute when break started to read. I had missed a couple of comments that I want to answer right now from the chat. A couple of questions that were in the chat. Hold on. Getting cold. It's getting late. It's 9 p.m. or so, and it's winter here in Argentina. So, gotta put on a jacket. Okay. So there's two questions, one from Thomas, and there's a comment from Bob. The comment from Bob I thought was a great idea. Bob, you've said this before, and another time I did this class. He has his passport photo as a hidden photo. And that's a great idea. You don't want like your documents, your IDs and stuff like that. A, you don't want to lose them. B, if you're traveling, you need to always take a photocopy of your passport, or so they say. Well, it turns out that a good idea is to photograph it and have it hidden. And if you truly do need it, you know how to get to it, but it isn't easy to find. So anyway, that's a great idea. Thanks, Bob, for that.
You're welcome.
And then Thomas asked, is there a way to merge all the duplicates? I have 2,739 photos and 28 videos. And yes, there is a way. So let me show you that way, because yeah, that would be horrible to do it one by one, right? If you have 30 or 40, but yeah, if you want to just do a big old merge. So, and I'm just doing this on the computer right now. I can select all my items, and in this case, I can do a Command A, which is like a shortcut for selecting all, Command and then A, and then select all, or I can click on one and then scroll up, Shift, click on another, and now I selected a bunch. So see over here where it says select items, if I do Command A, suddenly I have 58 items to merge. So every single other thing available turns up. Or say that I just look at these three and I agree they're all good. I can click on one, hold down the Shift key, click on the last one. Now I have 6 items to merge, right? Or I can just go to the top one, scroll down, 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 hold down Shift, go to this one. So that's 50 items, right? So you can do it in spurts if you don't trust, like first do maybe 10, then do 20. And if all is good, then you can do 2,000. You know what I mean? Plus, you don't want to kill your computer in case it's too much to process. Maybe do them 20 at a time at first. And if that works well, go up to 50 at a time. If that works well, then go up to 500 at a time. You know what I mean? Just try and see before you, I don't know what it'd take. Or maybe you do 2,000 and it just goes ching, and it's as quick as it's just merging data, and it can do it in 2 seconds. I have no idea. Can you tell me after you do it if the moment you merge, say 200, if it was quick or if it took a lot of churning time? Would you tell me later when you try it, Thomas? Because I really don't know. I haven't had to do that many, so that's good. Okay, anyway, so that's you can also click and drag like this, click and drag and get a whole bunch at the same time. But if you've got 2,000, you're not going to drag your way down to 2,000. So I think that just doing a Command A. But again, I wouldn't start by merging 2,700. I would start by merging 50 at first and then see, and then if it all works well, move yourself up to 500. And if that works well, then do the rest together, you know. All right. So, all right, thanks for those questions. Let's move on to media types. So by the way, whenever I am showing these things, I am going to utilities and then I'm clicking on individual ones of these things there. But I haven't shown you what happens if I were to click on the word utilities. When you click on the word utilities, then what you're seeing is one photo representative of each thing. So you see a thing for illustrations, a thing for recently edited, a thing for imports, right? So say that I were to go, oh, I want to go and see my handwriting. I would have to double click on this and then I'm in my handwriting. It's the same as if I had selected it, but that's what happens when you see just the main utilities. Now, same thing with this. If I just click on media types and use the word media types, like if I didn't have it displayed, like if I didn't have these open and I just clicked on media types or just clicked on utilities, then I would see all the media types, like I saw all the utilities. right? But if I open up the media types, then I click individually on each one, then we start seeing all the, in this case, videos. So again, it's not like this video isn't also in my library. Yeah, all the videos, if I look up and down, I'll find it whenever I get to a video that it'll be here, but it'll be harder to find the video amongst all these photos. It's better to just click on videos, and there we go. These are all the videos that I have in my library. Does that make sense? Does that work, you guys? Give me a yes if you found all your videos. Now, these videos are the ones that you take on your phone. How many of you guys take videos on your phone, or have someone never taken a video on their phone? Yeah. Let me just say, videos are the biggest space hogs in the entire world of computers. If you ever were wondering about whether to keep a photo or not, well, whatever, one photo. But if you're ever wondering about whether to keep a video or not, yes, it makes a huge difference because videos are humongous when it comes to how much space they take on your devices. So there's some noise in the background. I think Bob, maybe behind you, someone's calling. Let me mute you, Bob. I think there we go. Like someone's calling a dog or something like that. Okay. So, so how do you know how big they are? If you have the metadata, right, and you select it, then it'll tell you, like this one is saying 3 megabytes, and I click on this one, 168 megabytes. Whoa, between 3 and 168. I don't know how big 168 megabytes might be, but it's clearly much bigger than this one. So how do we look at them and go, well, this one is a 2-second video, and this is a 27-second video. So half a minute, which isn't, we would think that much time, is humongous, and it gives me a humongous video. So what I recommend is that when this one is a 40-minute video, but this one isn't a regular video. This is a, we'll show you in a minute when I go a little bit further down. So even though it says 40 minutes, it actually doesn't have that many photos because it's a slow motion video. So anyway, I'll show it to you later. But right now, all types of videos are being shown here. And when you have a video, if it's really long, right, then it's going to have more size than if it's really short. My recommendation is if you take a video, to do it in short spurts. Most of the times you don't need to sit there for hours and hours and hours. Most of the time you can just do the important piece and then raise your finger and take another portion, raise your finger, take another one. And then if you really like them, you can split them together. You can join them together, not split them. Or if it's really long, you can split it apart. And we're going to do that. The last day of this class, we're going to be working with editing videos, and we're going to be splitting them apart or joining them. But just saying that if you sit there and you press go and you film 5 minutes, that thing is going to be a monster. And really fill up your phone, your computer, your iCloud, everything. So just try to take short spurts. All right. Yes, Barbara? I can't hear you.
My husband texts me stupid videos from old movies all the time. Are those clogging up my phone if they're just in texts?
Yeah, and Barbara, are you in my Mac classes? I think you are, but I haven't seen
I
you there.
was in the spring. I was in your
Okay.
first and second.
Because in the Mac level 1, which I don't know what you mean by first and second, we talk about
The intro and the one.
intro and the 1. Okay, in the Mac level 1, we talk about organizing your files and file sizes, and I get to show you there how to go into your back end of your text and how to get rid of all your big texts, because yes, they do take up space if
Okay.
they're in your text. So, but it's really hard to go in your text and delete. Now, from now on, after you've watched it, delete it, and then it
Yeah.
won't stay there. But it's really hard to go up thread of text and delete everything that showed up, but you can go into the back end and go into where your texts are that way, and then you can sort them by size and then get rid of all the really big ones. You know what I mean? So you can
Right.
do that in one fell swoop. Because yeah, I happen to be at my mom's house right now, but I learned early on that whenever she sends me a video, she sends me videos all the time. Not even videos she takes, but videos that from, like she received from friends, social media, like gorgeous flowers opening up, animations, or, you know, photos of places to visit and put in a little video with little quotes. The moment I read them, I see them, right then off they go into the trash, because those ticks take up a lot of space, and you just read them and you leave them there, and they really clog up your phone. So yeah, I remember, and I keep telling this story, but it's true. A student who showed up to my class, their computer was full. They'd gone to the Mac store, to the Apple store, and they told them, "Oh, you need to buy a bigger computer." Kind of like Thomas's answer, you need to buy a bigger a computer with a bigger hard drive. And I showed her how, and it turns out that she and her friends send each other videos of their dogs all the time, doing cute things. And so she had reduced amounts of videos of her dogs in social media, like in text, not like, like, oh, look how cute, but not, important to keep. And she went and they weren't in her Photos app, they were in her text, and she went and was able to delete all that. And guess what? She didn't have to buy a new computer. So, because it's videos. Now, you can probably delete 10,000 photos and it won't make as much difference as it would be to delete 5 really large videos, right? So if you're ever running out of space, consider tackling your large videos first, because they take up hundreds and thousands times more space than 100 photos and 100 videos that are, say, a minute long videos. It's like exponentially way huger, right? So like this little video here is 18 megabytes. Which one did I just say? This one here is 168 megabytes. 168 megabytes, 1/2 a minute video. And then look at a photo. I'm going to take any photo, this photo, and it's 3 megabytes, right? So 3 megabytes for one photo versus 168 megabytes. So here's 1.8 megabytes for most photos. Or this is a raw file, so it's different. But most photos are between 1 and 2 megabytes, between 2 and 3 megabytes, depending on your photo, as long as it's not a raw photo. Now, when you take a raw photo, yeah, there's 29 megabytes. This is a raw photo. But if you take a regular any old photo, this isn't even the HEICs are even smaller, not even a whole megabyte, and versus a one video, right? So yeah, I can get rid of tons of photos or one video. That makes a huge difference. Okay.
What do you mean by raw picture?
Yeah, so I spent a lot of time in my Photoshop class talking about that. I think I spent some time the first week. When did I talk a bit about raw images, you guys? And I told you to go check and see if your photos can do it, just to make sure that I did it in this class or not. Someone who has not taken this class, this is your first time here. Did I ever mention any raw photos in the photos class? No, Mary Ellen? You sure? Because I know that I talk about it so much in my other classes that I want to make sure whether I have or haven't done it here. Okay, so Mary Ellen says no, Barbara says no. It's hard because some of you guys take different ones of my classes, and Harry just said yes, but he's in my Photoshop class where I definitely talk about raw photos. So it's hard to tell. Bob is not, Bob is in only this one, and he's saying no. Okay, so basically the people who are here and only here are saying no. So good. Because, and I'm only asking because sometimes people miss a day or half a class or something, and then I might have talked about it then. But if I've got 3 no's, then I'm going to assume that I didn't talk about it here. All right, so hang in there. Because what? Was
That was
someone talking?
Molly. She muted
Oh,
herself.
something was happening in the back. Okay. So here, one of the media types is raw. So I have all these media types. So I'll get to it in a second. Okay. Well, not in a second, but let me start from the top to bottom. I'll get to raw and I'll explain raw photos. Okay. So that's videos. Now there's other videos here because although this is what encapsulates all the videos, there's actually something called live photos, time lapse, and slow-mo, and these are also videos. So the slow-mo and the time lapse, I can also find them under videos, right? Because they're also videos. It's just that they are the only of all the videos, they're the ones that are the slow-mo version videos. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So you'll find them here and there. Got it? Because it's still a video, only I'm taking it in slow motion, so it doesn't include the rest of the videos. But you have live photos. So those are also little tiny videos. But live photos aren't considered technically videos, so you won't see live photos in your videos, even though they are little videos. We're going to talk about it in a second because it will make a difference to when we edit them. They do kind of act like a little video when you edit them, but other than that, they're not really videos. So selfies. Anytime you turn the camera around and shoot in selfie mode, and in this trip, I've never been much of a selfie taker, but this summer I took a ton of selfies. So I have me everywhere. They show up here under selfies. Live photos. Live photos is one that takes some time to explain. But by the way, I did want to say all of these also show up if I go into my library. So again, just making it really clear that anything that shows up in any of these places is just happens to fulfill it responds to the quality of selfie. It's still here, right? But if I just took a selfie, it'll show up here. For example, there I just saw one, and I went through it. I had just seen it, and I saw here. There's one that says Lisbon. That's a selfie. It's here, and then I just saw it also here. So, but it's not two photos. It's just that it's a regular photo, but it's also a selfie, and that's why it's showing up here. And again, whenever we make any albums, or the computer makes albums, or groups or collections for us, it is only one photo that is now being pointed to a couple of different places, okay? So I think a little bit to the question that you had here about handwriting or whatever of the other choices, it just happens to be that it's a photo with handwriting doesn't mean that it's not able to be put in many other albums and places. So a selfie can be here. It could also be in a folder that I make of photos of Lisbon. It can also be in a photo of portraits of me that I don't like and portraits of me that I do like, or whatever, right? So it can be in as many places as I want. Right now, it happens to be showing up as a selfie. Now, I could have a selfie that I'm pointing to a group, it's still a selfie, or I could have turned the camera around to selfie and be photographing something on the table. And it's the document that I'm photographing, but I did it on selfie mode, so it doesn't matter if it's a face or not. It so happens that most of these selfies are traditional selfies, but sometimes I use the front camera for something. And when I use the front camera, it calls it a selfie, but it's really just using the front camera. And I don't have an example here, but I do know that I have used the front camera occasionally for other stuff. And then that shows up here in my real photo album. I have some selfies that show up that aren't selfies, but that were taken with the front camera is all I'm trying to say. So it'll be show up as front camera photos are considered selfies. Okay, live photos. This is a biggie. How many of you guys know what a live photo is? Love them, hate them, wonder how to turn the feature off, don't have any idea what a live photo is. It's pretty confusing. I always get all these questions about live photos. And what live photos is, if you don't turn it off, it's a feature that is automatically on the phones. And when you take a picture, it shoots a little tiny video. So if I open this one here, she's sticking her tongue out right there, right? But this was a live photo. So if I click here on this little icon, there it was. That was the little mini video. I click on it, and she basically started with her tongue inside her mouth, and then she stuck it out, and then it finished. And that's what we're seeing. Does that make sense? So if you want to see your live photo as a live photo, just click on this little live. And some people think that they're taking a photo. They're usually kind of sitting still and like that one. But instead of a photo, it took a little mini video. So it might be bigger or smaller than what you were expecting. So here's the photo. And then when I click on live, you know, the rest of the time, usually since you're not expecting it to a video, your camera's still moving and it's kind of weird. So the choice of the moment that the photo becomes the one they show you, you might decide that there's a better time for that photo. Like instead of there, you want it where the eyes are open or whatever. So can you work on that? Yep. When we edit this photo, we can go and edit it and choose a different moment. Like in this one, the moment chosen is right when she stuck her tongue out. And it's like, wait, isn't there a better moment of this photo that I could choose to be the photo when she still hadn't stuck her tongue out? And yeah, there's a time there where she doesn't have her tongue taken out. So we can choose that one. We're going to work on that in the editing. But right now, how many of you love the live photos? And if so, give me a yes. And hate it, give me a no. Don't care either way, then don't say either yes or no. But don't find it. Love it, give me a yes. And if you love it, I want to know why you love it, because I'm always looking for, most people hate them. So I'm saying why, because I want to have reasons for why a live photo is good. And there are some good reasons. I'm going to show them. But yeah, Barbara, you said you love them. So what do you love about the live photos? I need to
Well, I
collect.
just was looking back at some live photos, and one was of myself and my mother sitting on my sister's back porch.
Mhm.
And she's kind of moving around and stuff. Well, she's dead now. She passed away. And it's just so cool for me to just see her kind of move.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm glad I didn't put that on still or whatever.
Yeah, and that's a great example. And not many times do we remember to film people. I mean, some people, my husband's better at it. He does do more videos, but I always do photos. I'm a photographer at heart. I rarely take a video. And he has some videos of my kids singing or making noises that I completely would not have the sound of their voices, you know, and that's it. You don't repeat that age range. So I can see how that can be with you know, a loved one who's passed away. So yeah, that's a great point. Thank you. As long as you took it by mistake, then you're surprised by that. If you took a live photo on purpose, though, you can make some cool effects with a live photo. So I'm going to show you that. That's another good reason. Most of the rest of you said no. See, so most of the times it's a pretty hated feature. So thank you for Barbara for giving us a good example of when it is a good feature. Now, some of you guys didn't answer yay or nay because you're like, I can take it or leave it. But most of the times I find people asking me to please turn it off. So I'm going to show you how to turn the feature on or off, and you can choose and not be the victim of it, but you can also choose when you do want it on. So this appears in my live photos, and I guess I was just taking a picture of this at school to register this, and it's useless, and it takes up a lot of space that the same photo wouldn't take if it weren't live. So it's like useless. But a photo of you know, like you said, your mom, and it's just a little tiny moment. But over here, this sounds silly, but this is my kids kind of wrestling for place in the photo, and it's like, yeah, that's the relationship that they have between them. And us parents are just staring at the camera, waiting for the camera to go, and they're like, you know. So what can I do? What's the good news about a live photo? Well, if you have a good one, I don't have any examples here of a good one though. And I need to find one. The only good example I have shown again and again and again, so you guys might have seen this one. If so, I apologize, but this is the one really good photo I have. This is a photo I shot Christmas 2021, so 4 or 5 years ago. This is my little, my niece's, no, She's a little niece anyway. My husband's kids anyway. She's a niece, but she's twice removed. I don't know why, but anyway. And look at that amazing shot. I didn't press my trigger at the right time. This is a live photo. And she came in and jumped. That's the photo. She came in and jumped in, and I thought I was taking a photo. I really did. I wasn't aware live photo was on. So isn't it great that it was live, because I was able to choose of that whole moment. I was to choose this one to turn this piece into a photo. And to edit, I was able to roll back and forth, and I've got her in the air jumping into the pile with her hair flying out. But I thought I was just clicking, right? So that's an example of when it really did work, right? That's the only one I have. Now, when we edit this photo, we can do other stuff with it. So I'm going to go ahead and show you, and I'm not going to teach you everything about editing right now, but choose a live photo that isn't this kind, like nothing happens. Well, he walks a couple of steps back there, but nothing really happens in this live photo. If you can go and choose a photo that has something like this one. This is just a statue, and the photo was on live, and I stopped taking the picture, and the camera actually, I even moved away because I wasn't aware that it was on live. So there's nothing good in that one. So choose, see if you can find a photo where something good happens. And if not, it doesn't matter. You'll still see the feature. But in one of these, I believe I moved into the flowers or something like that. I don't know which one it was. I think this one I was zooming in, and I got to do a feature called bounds and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going to show you. If you find a live photo that really works, and if not, do this with me anyway, and I'm going to do it with this one. Let's go up to the top where it says edit on the far right. So double click on it first, okay, to open it up, to view it. And now go click on the word edit. And then just wait there for a minute. We'll learn all about editing. We'll learn all about, let me close this info window so that it's not on the way. We'll learn all about a lot of these things later. Right now, I just want to just address the live photo feature, which down here, it's treating it as a video. And if I go ahead and do this, I can go up and down the whole set of photos. Now, the reason I said try to choose one where it's not, where something is happening, is because then if you have something that just like two fingers are moving, you won't have much difference here, right? But anyway, let me clear your answers, and I need an answer to make sure. Did everyone find a live photo and click on edit? Are you all here in the same place I am? And you're able to move this in and out to see the whole live photo. And it's 3 seconds. I thought it was 2 seconds, but I can see that it's a 3 seconds. The live photos are 3 seconds. All right. If you are here and you're able to sit edit and see a live photo, then give me a yes. Mary Ellen, you have a question?
Yeah. When I double clicked on the photo, I have one that moves appropriately, but I can't find the edit. It's black on both sides of the photo.
Let me go ahead and say done here for a minute. Share, can you share your screen to let's see what you're talking about? Are you sharing? We're not seeing it yet. It's share and then share again. There we go. Okay.
So here's the one that I want to
Okay,
use.
so you need to double click on it to open it up first. Now there's the edit.
Okay. I don't know why it blacked everything out around it.
Well, go ahead and hit the edit and let's see. It's working. This is your edit
Okay.
features. Okay, I just want to make sure you weren't talking about this black around it. No, so here's your editing. So go ahead, and since you're there, go ahead and grab this and move it back and forth so we can see it. Okay, and now move it all the way to the beginning. And you see some movement, right? It's not like, you know, the perfect jumping into the leaves, but there's some movement. But you might find that her expression is a little bit better at the beginning, at the end, because a lot of times in live photos, people think you've clicked and then they drop their smile or something like that, right? So the arbitrary choice of what's considered the key photo is this little dot there. That's just the computer choosing this one frame. And maybe they choose the camera. Maybe it thinks that the smile is better. Maybe the lighting is better. Who knows? Go to this one and let's see, take it right here. You can click on it. And that's considered the key photo. And you might think, oh no, that one's much better, or that one's much better. Like, I don't know if there's that much change in here, but let's assume that another one is much better. So go ahead and click on another one and decide that that's the one you like best, that one. Okay, now when you hover over it, it says make key photo. Go ahead and click on make key photo and boom. Now that became the photo that when you are done, that's where you're going to see instead of that one. Does that make sense?
Uh-huh.
Like you chose that moment. So now there's not much change in yours, but in this one, I guess the hand of this woman is up versus this one. So let's see. Go ahead and click on one of these to see their hand is still up. Go ahead and click on, see the hand is down. So now when you say done, and the key photo should show hold her hand up and we'll know that it's correct. See? You chose as a key photo the one where her hand was up. So you have changed the key photo. Now you can say edit again and change it again until you find the one that you think is the best, right? And then you just make it a key photo and then that's the one that shows up. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to stop your share.
I have
Did
a
anyone
question.
else? Yes?
Yes.
Everyone, go ahead
s-
and open one and change your key photo, okay? Try to do
So
that, and when you've been, hold on, when you've been successful,
yeah.
give me a yes.
Oh,
Okay, what's your
sorry.
question? No, you muted yourself. You're muted. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
Oh yeah, it's so noisy. So it is a live picture, and then do I put the live off? This is a live off. No.
Oh, yeah, you can, but right now I'm not teaching you to do live off. Right now I'm teaching you to
I know. Yeah, it will pick
use,
up using something.
to choose which is a better version of it.
Picture. Yeah, I got
But yeah,
it.
you can also you can also turn it off. Right now I'm working on where something good in it. Oh, well, maybe you can choose a better position, right? But yeah, I'll teach you how to turn the feature off, everything, yeah. So right now, here I have another live photo, and ever since I taught this last class between spring and now, my little sweet doggy passed away. So this is us at the beach, right? So this is the photo that the computer taught, and I'm gonna say edit, and I'm gonna see, is there one where I want him looking away? No, I want to look him here. I want to see his tail wagging, his mouth more open. You know, I can just go ahead and go, oh, I like that one with his little tongue going or whatever. Like I can choose a different one than this one. I think I like him looking at me better. This one's he's kind of looking down. This one he's looking at me. There, I like that one better. So I'm going to make key photo. So there we go. Now when I say done, the key photo I have of is the dog looking at me with the tail wagging versus the one he was looking down. Okay? Now, if you've all been successful at changing your key photo, give me a yes. If it didn't work or you can't figure it out, go ahead and give me a no. Now, can you do that on the computer? Yes, you can. Sorry, on the computer, on the phone. Let me show you on the phone how to do that. Okay, I'm sharing my phone now. I'm gonna go into my photos. I'm gonna go find my live photos, again, under media types. There's my live photos. So again, if you're at the top or wherever you are, you have to scroll all the way until you see media types. Once you see media types, there's your live photos. And now I'm gonna choose a live photo and say I choose, I don't know. Say I choose this one up at the top. I know it's a live photo because this says live. I haven't checked to see what's live about it, but what I have right here is another feature that I'm going to teach you. It has to do with portrait, portrait on, portrait off. We'll talk about that. But right now it's showing me live. And one thing I can do here on the phone is I can choose that to be a loop. So it's like an animation. So I hit loop and the phone is now going to, it's looping. See, it's not a very interesting one, but it's interesting. The light was flashing, so now it's flashing. So again, it was a photo that wasn't meant to be live. So there's not much to it, but I can change what it does. Let me go choose one where there is something more to it. I don't know if, does this one do something? I don't know. Let me click on live and find out. Was it? If I loop it, is anything happening here? Does he stick his head out? No, just a little bit, but it's snowing. So you see the snow happening. So I guess that's something. Now, one of the features that's kind of cool, the other one had more features, remember? But this is an older live photo. So it had less features, is that I could choose long exposure. And when you have someone had a waterfall photo once, and the movement ended up blurred. Now the movement is his head, which in this case is the opposite of what I want. But if you take a picture of a waterfall and the water is moving, then the waterfall becomes that really nice, fun, moving water. So this would be that's if I choose long exposure. Now, Anna had asked, and he had asked about can you turn the live feature off? Yes, you can go down here and just say, yeah, no, turn the feature off. But guess what? It's turned off doesn't mean that it's gone. It's still a live photo. If I want it back, I just click on that and turn the live photo on again, and it's back to live. So you don't save anything, you just turn the feature off. But if you've chosen the right moment with a key photo, then you get to have a better centered piece. Does that make sense? Hi, Mary, by the way, thanks for joining us. So we're talking about live photos right now. So if you want to open a live photo so that you can see it. So I'm wondering if this one has any movement. I'm going to loop it. And so here is another example of a live photo that you think you're taking a photo and then you drop the camera. So it's moving, right? But so loop goes round and round and round, bounce just goes back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And then long exposure, which in this case, it's the worst because then the whole thing is moved. So it makes no sense. So to put the long exposure on, it has to be one that has purposely been shot in such a way that it'll work, or just turn the feature off. Okay, so that's what you can do on the phone. So if you've been able to do it on your computer, most of you said yes, except for Barbara. So now give me a new yes if you were able to do it on the phone. Bob Burtness, you hadn't answered, but Barbara, you had said no. So how can I help? What's not working for you?
It is working.
Oh, okay, Bob. Yeah, Barbara.
I didn't see the edit.
Okay, did you double click to make on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me share my phone again.
I see the live loop and bounce and long exposure.
Oh, well, if you, hold on, I'm sharing my phone again. So when you take, let me go back to my live photos. If I click on a photo, here's me, I think I'm waving. Oh, I did this one on purpose. I'm waving here with a Band-Aid on my hand. I don't need to edit it in the photos. All this has just been up there. Okay, so the live photo just showed, if I click on live, it was just me waving once, but I was able to bounce it, I believe, or loop it. So it looks like I'm waving because that little bit of movement just goes back and forth, back and forth. Now, since I also moved my face, doesn't work as well, but if I managed to keep myself totally still and move my hand, it kind of would look like I'm waving, right? Okay, I'm gonna turn that off. And now, if I do want to edit it to find a better position, then I have to go to edit. And edit on a phone is this right
Right.
there. Okay, so to do what we just did, we don't need to edit it, but to actually go to the edit feature, we go to those. And again, I'm not going to teach you everything that you can do with editing right now. You will get to that, but not right now. But in order to just edit what's the key photo, then over here you should see the word live. Click on live. So choose live, and it takes you to this feature that we had on the computer where you get to choose which is the better photo. So that, which is your better key photo. So here I'm not smiling, here I'm smiling. And then I guess that's the only big difference, not smiling and smiling. So maybe I prefer to be smiling or I prefer to not be smiling. And then hover, see how when I hover over one or the other, it then gives me the choice to make key photo. So then I'm going to switch to that one,
And then you
make
say
that one the key
done.
photo. And
Okay,
then you say done.
let me just try it on my computer here.
Okay. So was everyone able to choose a different photo for your key photo in the phone? And were you able to choose whether you give it some kind of animation? Or if you choose to take the live feature off. Now, even if I take live feature off, it's still a live photo. So I can turn it on, so it would still show up as a live photo. Let me see, loop. Loop isn't, I think in this case, what about bounce? I think in loop or bounce are kind of the same in this case. So it's hard to show any difference, but in others, you might see the difference between loop or bounce. I don't know. I really don't know what's the movement in this one. Let me loop it. And it's probably just, again, in my case, it's by mistake when I forgot that it was on. So that's it for loop or not much happening. How about this one? Bounce. Just this guy shaking his head because I guess my camera was pretty still. So that's it a little bit. So this is the typical live photo for me. It's not on purpose. I rarely think of it on purpose. Now I did on this trip purposely take some live photos that were waterfalls so that I can bring them to you, but I'm noticing that I didn't upload them to my sample photos. So I need to go back to my photos where I did on purpose take some waterfall photos to be able to show you the long exposure. When you do it really well, it's pretty cool. It's like it's anyway, it's an interesting feature, but you have to do it on purpose or you won't notice it. Okay, so how do you turn the feature of live photos on and off? Because most people don't want it on. So now I'm going to share my camera again. My phone. Hold on. Here we go. So I'm sharing my phone again. And when you take your live photo, you do it from the camera, okay? So I have my camera app right here. So I'm going to go ahead and open my camera. So not my Photos app, but my camera app. And now I'm showing you my my desktop right now. But the features that this camera has, this is an iPhone 10. So I have choices here, but they're not as many choices as my iPhone 15 has, right? But still, it works the same when it comes to the live feature, which is right up here. And let me get my hand tool. Sometimes this is like, I'm handling so many things at the same time. Here, that feature right there, that means that my live is off. So if I take a picture right now, it's not a live photo. But if I click on that and it's yellow, that means that live is on. I'm going to purposely swoop around. There we go. I swooped around when I took that picture. So that one was live and I swooped my phone. So it should be a very swoop kind of picture. So I turn it on and off. Now there's a problem with this, which is if I turn it off or I turn it on to do that swoop picture, if I now close my camera, it's gone. Next time I open my camera, for most of you guys, it should still be on because I left it on. And if I don't notice that, now I'll spend the entire day taking live photos because I left it on. Does that make sense? If I turn it off and I close my app, later when I open it up again, it'll be on off. To get that to work, you need to change that in the settings. Otherwise, by default, it's always on. For a lot of people, all their photos are live photos because they always leave it on. If you want it to stay at the feature that you left it, meaning if you wanted to always stay off, if you left it off, the only problem is that if you do turn it on for something and you forget to turn it off, then it stays on until you remember to turn it off. But that's a feature that you could turn off in the photo settings. So let's go to the computer system set to the phone system settings. And in the phone system settings, let's go to the home, where you see the big settings up there. Let me clean my drawing. Okay. And then in the search, we're going to write camera. Camera, and just cam is enough. And there it is. Just writing cam, and then here's my camera. So that's my camera app. Okay. Oh, no, that doesn't work because it's taking me to privacy and security, and that's where I didn't want to go. So let me back off. Okay, so I'm gonna have to find my camera here, not under privacy and security. So let me back off of that. I thought it would be good from there. So
Would be that
instead, let's go.
continuity camera
Yeah,
right underneath
no,
it?
no, that's not where I went. Forget the search, that didn't work. Let's scroll all the way down to the apps and find the app and search through the apps, because when I wrote it, search in here, it looked through all of these choices where it says camera, and it's not what I wanted. I wanted the actual app. So let's go to the apps, which is way down here, the bottom of anything on the first page. There's the apps. And here's what I want to search for the camera. Now, the thing is that, oh, where's the camera? They took it off. Calendar, clocks, contacts. Hello? Oh, it's one of the default apps? No, it's not one of the default. Where did they put the camera app? If I search in here and I write camera? Huh. Where in the world?
Mine is on the main page. Under my name, it
Yeah.
says camera.
Yours was there.
Oh, there it is. You're right. Camera. They moved phone, they moved some of the basic apps to the app. So I assume they moved the camera too, but the camera is still there. But they moved the phone, for example, app. They moved a lot of the phones apps that used to be here have moved. So I assume they moved the camera too. Okay, good news. It's on the first page. Thank you guys. But why when I searched for camera, didn't it give me that one? Anyway, crazy. Okay. In the main first page of your settings, here's the camera. Click on that. This is the one that we were needing. I'm going to wait, since I went back and forth, I'm going to wait everyone to give me a big old yes to show me that you got here. If you got here, then we'll continue from here. So it's in the main section of the settings. Thank you for whoever said that you found it. I'm looking at my settings for my newer camera to make sure that the settings aren't too different. Here we go, because they are different. Okay, I'm seeing yeses. Vera, did you find it? Carol, Anna, Bob Burtness, anyone who hasn't answered, did you find it? Give me a green yes before I continue. Yolanda, you need to be in your camera settings. Okay, I'm seeing yeses now everywhere. Okay, guys.
Wait, just a second.
So-
When you camera setting, are you talking about the computer or the iPhone?
No, your phone, because the computer doesn't have a camera, so just your phone. Okay, so you pick up your phone. The iPad does have a camera if you have an iPad, but if you have your phone only, I know you don't have an iPad, so go to your camera.
So I
Right
had my
here.
camera, but I don't see the,
Yeah,
don't-
we're not going to the camera. We're going
Oh.
to the settings on your phone.
settings
To
on
the
the phone.
settings on your phone. Okay, and then you scroll down to the camera app. So if you don't find your settings on your phone, that one you can go here and do a big search right there. And you can click on search and you can just write SETT and the settings will pop up right there. Okay. Click on the settings.
But I have the setting and I click on the setting and what came out like Messenger, calendar, Facebook, messages.
Yeah, so you're inside of the app section, just like if you're in a place, say that you're in here, for example, then you need to back out. You need to go to the top and go to the main page of settings. Click on this and just back your way out, back your way out, back your way out until you get to the main settings page. And it'll have
That's
the big
right.
word.
Yeah, I don't think it's, yeah, I can't find it. I had just been scrolling since the time you mentioned.
Yeah, so
Ah.
that's probably the problem, that you've kind of are inside of things. So basically, say that I'm in general, and then I'm in iPhone storage, and then I'm in something, review large attachments, which by the way, this is the key. And I have to back out. I have to go out and then out again, and then out again, and then until I finally get to like the main page, and it's called settings at the top. Once you're in the main page and it says settings at the top, that's the one that we want to go to. So just back out of wherever you're at, because I can't tell where you might be. Just back, 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 out, 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 out. And then when you get to the main page of settings, it should say settings at the top like that, right? Then when you scroll down, right under general, you go down and you find the camera right there.
That's all right, Diana.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
thank you.
I'll continue with this point and then you'll find it, because I know we've been here before with you in the settings, and I know that you'll find them once you have
Thank
a
you.
bit more time. Okay, so here are my camera settings, and the setting that I want to go to right now, there's so many other things to choose, but it's the preserve settings. So why the preserve settings? Because I want to make sure that if in my camera, and I'm going to the camera, you guys don't go, but it's what I just showed you. You guys just watch. It's the fact that if I leave that setting turned off, that choice is preserved for me so that next time I go to open the camera, it stays off. Now, if instead I left it on, when I close that app, next time I open the app, it'll be on. So that's what it means by preserve settings. If I don't do the preserve settings, then it is always on. Always on. No matter if I turn it off, when I turn on the camera again, it'll be on again. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So preserve settings, when I go into preserve settings, I go down to live photo and I turn this on. I want to preserve my live phone settings. That way, if I turn it off, it'll stay off. And then if you do want it, like Barbara, for a situation where you think you want it, you turn it on, then it stays on. Just all you need to do to turn it on or off is click this little button, right? But don't forget, after you do use it on purpose, say for the waterfall, then to turn it off again if you want it to keep it off as a general thing. And it'll stay off only if you have preserved the live photo settings. Okay?
Yeah.
Let me clear your answers and everyone give me a yes if you found it, if you figured it out. Now, when I go here to the preserve settings on my new phone, turns out that there's more settings, more choices of what I can preserve than I have in my old phone. I just have one little menu. In my other phone, I've got like double the amount of preserve settings, right? But that's okay. That's just, it's the same idea. When you want to preserve, for example, save that you always take videos and you don't take photos. Well, every time you open the camera, its default setting is photo. Say that you don't want it to default setting a photo, you want it to default to video. Then if you go over here to the settings and you say preserve my camera mode settings, then I'll turn this one on. So now, every time I open the camera, if I wanted it to be in video, it's always in video. But if the last setting I left it at was slow-mo, and I close my camera, when I open my camera again, it'll start in slow-mo. Does that make sense? So for some of you guys who choose to start at different place than photo, that works. But if you know, you'd prefer to know that it's always on photo, then turn this off, right? So you'd only turn this feature on if you want the feature that you choose to always be the one that you left it at, which I do want my photo to always be off for live photo, but for the rest, I prefer to choose them on a one-by-one basis. That's just me. But you might be someone who takes 90% of videos and you don't want to have to be switching to video all the time or something like that. So then you leave it on. But now there's an exposure adjustment when my iPhone 15 that is really cool. And maybe I want it to always be fixed, and that one I can preserve in the settings while I'm in a certain place. And then when I leave that place, I can turn it off. So anyway, so this is the only one that I turn on all the time. And that's because I don't want by mistake to keep making live photos of the kind that you saw, where it's just supposed to be a photo and then things are jiggly. But then again, you get the miracle like Barbara's mom or the little girl jumping into the leaves, which was an absolute happenstance. I thought I was taking a photo and it got lucky. Okay.
Yeah, one question.
Yeah.
I have different words on my preserved photos. Right above live photo, there's a portrait zoom that I had on.
Yeah. That's just
What would that?
because you have the photo that I'm sharing is a iPhone 10. On my iPhone 15, I do see the portrait zoom. Okay. So preserve the portrait mode zoom rather than resetting it to the default camera. So if you want to zoom in, which is a version of portrait photos, then you can keep that turned on. Now, unfortunately, and I really, really mean it, unfortunately, I would love to teach you how to use your camera in depth, but someone beat me to it. Chuck wrote the class before I could do it, and so he's going to be teaching how to use the iPhone. But you guys should go, if you want to know how to take your photos better, go and sign up for the class that he's going to start teaching, I believe, in the fall, where he's going to teach people how to take photos on their phone. So I don't know how good or bad or interesting or not interesting or long or short, or I just know that it's in person and that it's the first time he's going to teach it. And if you want to take your phones there, hopefully it'll be an awesome class and you'll learn how to take better photos. This class is all about how to handle the photos you've already taken. So I'm just teaching you a little bit about this, but I can't teach you a ton about this. Does that make sense? Because there's so many choices. But
Yes, thank you. But on your personal phone, you have your portrait zoom on.
no, so here's my phone, and so what she's talking about is portrait, right? And there's choices to zoom in or out, and not in this one actually, but in my newer phone. This one doesn't have that. And you can, in my other phone, I can choose because I have more lenses. This iPhone 10 doesn't have so many lenses. But in my iPhone 15, I have the choices to be zoomed in or out, and then you can have it set. Basically, the preserve life settings, all it means is that if you left it zoomed in, it always starts zoomed in. If you left it zoomed out, it always starts zoom out. It preserves the setting you left. versus setting itself back to the default. Does that make sense? So if you are
Okay.
someone who likes to take close-ups versus far aways all the time, then you might want to change your settings. If there's something that you're always doing that you get triggered by having to always turn it off, which for me only happens with a live photo because I don't want it and suddenly there it is again because I forgot. That's why I only use it for live photo. But if you have that kind of pet peeve about any other feature that you're always switching and it's like, oh, why wouldn't it stay there? That's what this is for. Put it at the setting you want it there and then preserve the settings for that. And then every time you go shoot, those settings will be there. Does that make sense? So it's not about what I do or don't do with the Zoom settings. It's more like if it's something that you find yourself repeatedly having to change, well, if it shows up here as one of the choices, then turn it on. And that way, every time you go to that setting, it'll be set where you want it to be. So hopefully that's pretty clear what that setting does. It's not about one setting or another setting. It's how you use the camera. Like my son takes videos. He rarely uses photos. So he has his set that when you open the camera on his app, it's automatically going to videos. But that doesn't mean he can't take a picture. It's just that he doesn't have to switch from photo to video each time. That's all it means. Okay? Now, the raw photo that someone asked me about, that I will talk about a bit later, the raw photos in this camera, they don't exist. This camera, the iPhone 10, cannot take raw photos. So I don't have the choice here. But for those of you whose cameras are newer, you do have the choice for taking raw photos. And when you scroll to the raw photos, if you scroll down and all these preserved settings, the next to last on my iPhone 15 is preserve the Pro RAW and resolution control setting rather than automatically reset it. That exists on the iPhone 15 Pro Max, which is not the same as the iPhone 15 or the iPhone 15 Pro. There's three. It's iPhone 15, 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max. I have the Pro Max, so I'm not sure if that shows through all of those. And I don't have a 16, so you guys would have to tell me. But what does that mean? That means that I can shoot in a mode that will be chosen here under format. So although this camera doesn't have RAW, at the very beginning of a setting, so I'm out of preserved settings now. I back out of preserved settings to the main camera settings, I'm sorry, and you have record video, choices, record sound. My other camera has record cinematic, which is a newer, and then I have formats. So let's go to formats. Formats. This old iPhone 10 can only choose between HEIC, which is high efficiency, or most compatible, which means JPEG. That's the only choice I have in my iPhone 10. I would recommend to stay with high efficiency. It saves the photos smaller, but it doesn't compress them in a way that you lose quality, so it's a better format. But as an iPhone 10, that's my only choices. Instead, in my iPhone 15 Pro Max, I have high efficiency mode compatible, and then down here, I have like a ton more photos. I have photo modes, megabytes, Pro RAW, Pro Default, Pro Res, video capture. I have a ton of other choices because that's the only reason I bought a newer camera is because as a photographer, these are the choices that I want. So a raw photos and a raw video is a video that will give me more choices to edit that photo and make it much better. When a camera doesn't have it, like this one that I'm sharing with you, in order to fit many photos in one phone, what it's going to do is it's going to compress them, save them as a JPEG, and it's going to compress them. That compression is a lossy compression. Lossy compression loses quality, especially in the highlights and in the dark. So in the really ends of the spectrum where there's a ton of light or where there's a ton of dark, your dark will go really black, your lights will suddenly, when the sky sometimes like burst out white, or if you're wearing a white t-shirt and there's a ray of sun in it, and then you have a burst out white t-shirt, that will get ruined if it's a JPEG. If instead you shoot a raw photo and you have choices for what the resolution for your raw photos is going to be and how big that file is going to be and stuff like that. When you choose one of those choices, then you have a photo that the camera doesn't touch. It leaves it untouched. So if you chose a shot to shoot it as a raw image, and now I'm sharing my computer now. When I go to raw, these are all raw photos. If I click on this photo, that's a 23 megabyte photo because it hasn't been compressed. Okay. If I choose this photo, it's 15 megabytes. If I choose this one, it depends on so many different things. It's 55 megabytes, but it depends on how many photos that image needed to be a good photo, versus if I go to a regular any old photo, that's a JPEG or an HEIC, it's only 1 megabyte. So we went from 25 megabytes to 1 megabyte. Okay. So this is 3 megabytes. This one is 682 KB. So it depends on how many that phone needs, how many megabytes it needs. But if you go into RAW, then for sure you're talking much bigger files. I think this one is 55 megabytes right there. Okay. And it's 6,000 by 8,000 pixels. So it's going to allow me to make a big print out of it. That doesn't change. If I took a picture that's going to be 6,000 by 8,000, but it's not raw. So let me go to a not raw image. I think this is a not raw image. It's 3,000 by 4,000 pixels. So it's the same phone that took this photo. It has many less pixels and it's compressed. So if I have issues with the lights and the darks, if this happened to be a very contrasty photo, it'll be harder to fix it and make it a good photo than if I had changed it in RAW. But when you take photos in RAW, it's going to be really hard also to take many of them, because your phone's going to fill up much sooner, your camera's going to fill up much sooner, your computer's going to fill up much sooner. So you don't want to take all your photos in RAW, even if you can. You want to try to switch to RAW when you really see a photo that's worth spending a lot of time editing, putting in Photoshop, making it big, et cetera, et cetera. Does that make sense? Now, one thing I discovered, so say this photo here, it has that little white splotch there that you don't see the sun, it's just burst. If this were a JPEG, I would have had like a big white splotch in the middle. Because it's raw, I have a small white splotch, and if I process this in Photoshop, I can probably get that white splotch to look like a very, very light yellow. It won't have this big old splotch. Does that make sense? Because I have much more information. So choosing to shoot in RAW is only for people who are willing to spend time editing it beyond what you can edit in this app. You can edit it even better if you use Photoshop or Lightroom. Other than that, don't bother for every photo you take to make a RAW. Now, one thing that really surprised me, that I was really excited about, is that even the selfie camera took RAW photos. So this photo was taken when there was barely any light, even though it looks different. And see how exploded the light is behind there? It's a raw photo, but it's from the front camera, which takes less pixels, but because it's a raw photo, I'm going to put this in Photoshop and I can probably fix that and have a nice sunset background. If this had not been a raw photo, I might not have been able to do that, right? So anyway, that was a surprise for me that I was able to take a raw photo from the selfie camera. So that's new to the iPhone 15. I'm assuming 16 does it too, yes. Barbara?
So in my camera, because I have a 15 Pro Max, so would that green, the Pro RAW and resolution control, it's to the left and gray, right? Do I want it to be on green just so that it's not always doing RAW? Because I don't want it always RAW.
So if you have it on Let
Like
me
it's
see if I can
turned on
connect.
now, so I don't know.
Let me, yeah, so if it's turned on, let me just show you. I can't connect my other phone because I don't have it set up to connect. Well, maybe if I connect by cable, I can. Every time I try to share my other phone, it needs to give me permissions and stuff, but let me share on this phone and show you what'll happen. Let me share my iPhone 10 that does not have a RAW feature, but let me show you where it would look like. So I go to my camera, and just like I can turn the live on and off,
Mhm.
when you have it turned on, it says RAW here, and you can turn RAW on and off exactly like I just did with live. Does that make sense?
Right.
So for those of you who turned on the RAW camera feature that you might have never had it on, because by default it's off. So when you do go turn it on, right next to the live, it'll say RAW. And it'll act just like that. If you preserve the format, then if you leave the RAW on, it turns RAW on. If you leave it off, it turns off. So you might make a mistake and shoot some banal pictures in RAW because you left it on. But then you might think you're doing the best sunset in RAW, and when you look, you just left the area, the sunset, and you look and shoot, it was off all the time, right? So you need to keep an eye on it, because just by touching it, it turns on or off. Okay, did that work?
Yeah, I was just wondering which. Oh, yeah. So,
Okay.
so,
And again, I gotta stop because this is about the cameras and I have so much more to teach that isn't about this class, but yeah, I can't help answering, but I can't go much deeper into that. So what's the next question about it? And then,
no, it was just
so
that
what?
I turned the raw to the green, and so now that shows up on the side, and there's a line through it. So
That
that
means
means
you're
raw.
not shooting. Yeah,
Huh?
that means you're not shooting raw. But if you do want to shoot raw, touch the word raw, it won't be crossed out, and then you can shoot a picture that's raw.
All right.
Okay. So basically, if you enable the possibility in format to choose to shoot raw, then you have to turn the feature on and off in the camera itself. Okay? Hopefully that helped a lot of people. There's some other things that you can change here. Just read about them, talk about them. But yeah, you can, if you don't turn this on and off, but if these are by default on always, but if you hate any of these, then turn it off. But I wouldn't see why necessarily you needed to turn them off, but anyway. Okay. But if you choose to turn them off, that's what would happen. You turn them. Okay. So that's the raw camera feature. We have a few more minutes, so I want to go back to the computer.
I have a question
Yeah.
about the live picture and live off. What is the difference? Oh no, I know that you explain everything, and then I
Yeah,
mean,
it's if off is just a photo.
yeah,
Just a
photo.
photo.
Yeah,
But if you take a wait, let me answer that. If it's before you take the photo, if you turn it off by touching that thing, then you just take a picture. That's it. It's just a photo.
yeah,
But
yeah.
if you, after the fact, you had a live photo and you turn the feature off, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't show you the animation, but it's still considered a live photo and it stays there as a live photo.
So when I go to the live photos, and then some photos I turn off live, and that means more reduce some what is that?
No.
No, nothing
Space.
happened.
No, because even though you turn the feature off, it's still a
Mm-hmm.
live photo. So say this is a live photo, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if I go over here and I turn this feature off, I don't want it to do that. And I turn this, if I go and say, hold on, click on that. And I say, I don't want it. In the phone, I can say, turn the feature off. I can go over here and say off, right? And look at it's like a little castle head. When I say
Yes.
done, because I've turned it off, see how it still shows up under live photos? Because
Over there,
I
yeah.
turned off the animation, but it's still a
Mhm.
live photo, so it doesn't bounce around anymore. but it's still a live
Mm.
photo, so you don't officially
Just-
save
just for-
space. It doesn't throw away the video part of it. I can just go
Mm.
back, edit again, and turn it on again, and it's still there. And so it still has all the photos and the video there. So it doesn't save anything to turn it off, other than it stops from moving if you don't want it to move. But it doesn't fix it. Got it, you
Okay.
guys?
Yeah.
So if you don't want it as live, just don't take it live, because once you take it, it's live and it's live,
Yeah.
period. There's nothing you can do about it. So this is the one that I took on my phone a minute ago. And remember that I said, that's the one that I just took when I was showing you, demoing live photo. And that's a photo. That's not a video. I pressed photo, but since it was live and I was moving my phone, then it turned into a little video. And if I go to edit, these are all the photos it took. So if it took 25 photos, then it's still one live photo is worth 25 photos. I don't know how many it takes. I think it takes, it's 3 seconds. And each second is, I think it's, depending on your camera, if it's set at like 64 photos per second, or if it's set at 29 photos per second, depending on your settings at what your camera is at. And let me see, let me actually see my camera format. It's really a video. It's probably a low quality video, so I have it set at 30 frames per second. So if this is 3 seconds, that's equivalent to 90 photos for this little swoop. That's 90 photos. 90 photos is what this little live photo costs me, as opposed to just one photo. Does that make sense? So why have the live on if I don't need it, when what it's going to do is it's going to take up the space of 90 photos, right? So I recommend not having it on unless you purposely want it on. All right. There's many more that I want to cover here, and I don't have a ton of time. And unfortunately, these are all things that when I try to cover them here, it means that I end up teaching you about your phone and your camera. So it takes a little bit longer. Although in reality, this isn't about teaching you how to take photos. I can't help but help a little bit. But we have 3 classes left after this one. And I still need to get into creating your albums and to editing your photos. So I'm going to go a little bit faster on these right now. And then your homework, you guys, your homework is to shoot at least one of each of these types. Now, when you look at these types, these are the ones that I have here because I shot them. But if you look at yours, like when Thomas shared his camera, he had 2 or 3 things. I don't know what they were. And that's because he didn't have those photos in here. So say that you've never taken a panorama, then you won't have the feature panorama here. If you've never taken a time lapse, then you won't have the feature time lapse here. So you have a homework, you guys, between this week and next week. You need to grab your phone, open up the camera, and try one of each of all those features. So now I'm going to share my camera and see all these features that I have down here. Portrait, pano, that's panorama, photo, video, slow-mo, time lapse. If I go to my new phone, I have even more features there. I have, after video, I have cinematic. Okay, and then the rest I have in between portrait and pano, I have spatial. So there's like 2 more settings than what I have in this one. Okay, so it's your job to set your camera at a little bit of each one of these and shoot a little video, a little slow-mo, a little light. I'm going to show you how to do a slow-mo and a time lapse now. A photo, a portrait, a pano. So then you can see in your media types at least one of each. Does that make sense? So how do you take a pano? Well, let me go over here and I'm going to take this picture like that of my mom's paintings, which by the way, she's a painter. So these are her paintings. She's painted these. So if I want to do a pano like that, usually you would do it with more space, then you're going to set it at the beginning corner. And you can choose, if I choose this arrow here, it switches so that it goes like I start from there, or if I click in here, then it'll start from there. So wherever I say I start. And when I'm ready to shoot, I go to the button, right? And you need to move the phone continuously when taking a pano. So I'll go to this button here, I'll press go, and I'll move very, very quickly like that. And when I'm done, I'll slow down. And there we go, that's a pano. It's such a small room that, see how the ceiling is kind of bowing or whatever. But I got the whole pano. Now, of course, you should go try and do this outdoors where there's a chance, but right now it's middle of the night here. It's gonna be 10 p.m. in a minute, and it's winter, so it's been pitch black for many hours. So I can't go outside to demo this, but you guys go and do this somewhere. And don't move your camera a lot because that won't work. You have to be like, if you're shooting and you're jiggling, it's gonna be a mess. You need to be very smooth and ideally keep your wrist in place and just kind of switch your wrist one side to the next instead of moving it like that. Anyway, practice. That's a pano. Then a portrait allows you to, first of all, it says move closer, no person detected. See how it sees that? Because I'm not shooting a person, but I don't have a person in front of me. My mom is in bed because, as I said, it's 10 p.m. over here. So if you had a person, it would detect the person, and then what it would do is it would shoot a person. And I don't think this camera shoots portrait selfie mode. Let me see. There I am. Hey, I guess it is finding me, but it's not telling me that I'm too close. I don't have anything in the background. I have just a white wall here. So there's not much for it to show me. But in a real portrait situation where in the background I have leaves or the beach or anything, then what it's going to do is going to put focus on me and blur the rest out. And then when you do that next week, I'm going to show you how to handle that. You can choose how much to blur, how much to not blur. Maybe you want everything blurred out or you want it just a little bit less blurry. Maybe you have a trash can at the beach behind you and you want to really blur that out, but then you don't look like you're at the beach. So you have to like go back and forth. So anyway, this choice isn't giving me many choices. This right here, sorry, in this mode, in the settings. So what I need to do is go up. And again, this is more camera than Photos app, but go up to this little arrow there, up there. So I set it in portrait mode, then I go up to this arrow and I click on that arrow, bing. And when I do that, suddenly I have many more choices here, just for the portrait setting, okay? So for the portrait setting, now I can choose to have my flash on or off. And I'm gonna have the flash off. I can choose my aperture, and this is what matters. I can choose my aperture, and the aperture allows me to have a very blurry background or a very sharp background. So look at this painting back there. I can have it very, very blurry, about 1.4, or I can go to 16 and I can have it sharp. So see what's happening? My face is still sharp, but the background is going sharp or blurred or somewhere in between. Does that make sense? You can choose how blurry you want it. Okay, so play around with that. That's the main one. Then you can choose a cell, you can do a timer, you can do effects. Anyway, those are the two important ones. Mainly, this is really the important one. Okay, so now when I want to go back to all my other settings, I have to click on this little tab again. There we go. And now I'm back to choosing photo, portrait, video. Okay, I'm assuming most people know how to shoot a photo or a video. The only ones that I'm going to show you is slow-mo and time lapse. I'm going to show them to you right now in a real example. So I'm going to stop this share and I'm going to now show you my examples of slow-mo and time lapse so that you guys understand. So a slow-mo, which is this one, when you click on slow-mo, you have to go shoot something that's moving fast. Okay. So this is my husband here doing pottery, and I shot him So when you play this video, why is it not playing? Oh, it's uploading, that's why, sorry. There it is. So when I play this video, when it hits the slow-mo portion, see how it slows it down? But it was originally going really fast. When we edit it, I'll show you the difference. But when you're not editing it, it just basically shows it quickly at first. And then at some point, it moves into slow motion, which is all this. It's really slow. By the time it's done, at the end, it goes fast again. So basically, it's a 2.5-minute video. But I probably only shot for 20 seconds. But it got slowed down and it stretched to 2.5 minutes. Does that make sense? But I was probably pressing the go button maybe 20 seconds. Ah, I've passed my time and my alarms aren't ringing because it's 10 p.m. So I need to, sorry guys. Okay, so I'll be done in one quick second. So choose something that's moving fast and shoot it for a short time. That's how you do a slow-mo. Time lapse is the other way around. You have to choose something that's moving really, like the time lapse would be, for example, if a camera stays there for 2 hours while a flower is slowly opening up, that would be a time lapse. Now, unless you have a tripod and stuff like that, what I did is I went for something fast as well. It was a windy day and the clouds were moving by pretty quickly, and I pointed at the sky and I had these little flapping little flags there. And so I pressed and I held my camera stiff for like 2 minutes and I got now 9 seconds out of it. And now the clouds look like they're moving by really, really fast. It was a windy day, so they were moving, but now that everything looks like it's really, really fast. That's the time lapse. But I had to stand pointing at the sky without moving for like at least 2 minutes. So I took a long time to get 9 seconds of video. Does that make sense, you guys? Think about the flower. It might take 2 hours of the flower to open up. And then when you see it, it just goes zoom, and in 5 seconds, the flower went from closed to open. So to take a time lapse, you need to choose something that you can stay still for a long time, and then you'll see it go by really fast. Okay? We're going to talk about bursts later that we can do, screenshots, hopefully you all know how to do. So all of these, animated is when you give a bounce to a live photo, you've animated it, then animation happens. So if you go to live photo and you choose for it to bounce, boom, now you have animated because I've animated this photo. Okay, et cetera, et cetera. So
I have a
guys,
question.
okay,
Okay.
let me just wait. Hold on.
Okay.
Since class
Okay.
has technically been over for 3 minutes, if you need to leave, please go. I'm going to hang out here to answer some questions, but just so you don't feel bad about leaving, please have a life, go and do whatever you need, or stay and listen to the questions because I'll answer a few more questions before I finish. Otherwise, I'll see you with a lot of new photos of all these types next week. Okay, that's don't let week say you didn't do it because then you won't be able to experience the work. Okay. Yes. Bye everyone. Yeah. Manheed, tell me
Yes.
what's your
Oh
question.
yeah, yeah. Same photo. I found it in the live photo and album. And then can I take off the live photo? Is a more space in the
You can't take the feature that it was taken as a live photo will always go with it. You can put it in an album of Christmas photos. You can put it wherever you want, but it's always going to be a live photo.
Oh wait, could you tell me slowly? So you better live
Maybe
photo.
I'm not sure I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is if a photo was taken live when you shot, it's always going to be live. It can be put in any album. It doesn't matter. we are looking at it in the photo album of live photo because we're under media types, but I
Oh,
could
no, no,
choose
no.
to put it in a family album. Okay,
My
that's not the question.
well, my question is not there. My question is the same photo is the album and live photo, and then can I take off the same photo, save the album, but the live photo is get rid of? Is that is the I have a more space?
Nope, because it's
No.
only one photo. It's always
There's only
one
one photo?
photo. There's
But
only one
there's a-
photo.
Oh, really?
No.
But
If you
album
take,
and
if you took one photo, it can appear in 10 albums, but it's one photo. If you take them off one album or 10 albums, it's still only one photo. If you
In-
get rid of it and you delete it, it deletes from 10 albums. It deletes everywhere because it's always only one photo.
Oh.
So you can have it be part of an album or not, but if the photo itself you delete to make space in your phone,
Mhm.
it deletes out of everywhere else. It's gone. It is always one photo. If you delete that photo, it is gone from everywhere. You
Mm.
can't make more space. You never, just having it in 10 albums does not make the photo bigger or take more space. Having it in 10 albums just means that it's a photo that is a Christmas photo, but it's also a photo of your sister, but it's also a live photo, and it's also happens to be a selfie, whatever. It works on for all of them, but it's only one photo. So if you delete it from one, it leaves from everywhere else as well. You can't choose, but it never makes it bigger to be in many albums. The photo is big because when you took the picture, click, it was shot as a live photo and that sticks with it forever. It's still a live photo no matter where you put it. So it's in the clicking, which is why I went to show you the camera, where you need to take the feature off if you don't want it to be a live photo before it's gotten taken. Okay?
Thank you.
I hope that was clear to everyone. It's a weird concept, but once a live photo, always a live photo. All right, guys. Have a great week, and I'll see some of you guys in other classes during the week, and the rest of you, I will see you in a whole week. Take photos. Bye.